In order for small businesses to thrive, they need to be smart, efficient, agile, staying ahead of the market at every turn, and finding ways to do more with less. That's never been more important than it is right now. So for a limited time, Comcast Business is introducing Small Business Savings, a deal for companies across the country. When you call in now, you can get powerful internet for just $39 a month for 12 months. $39 a month, with no annual contract and a money-back guarantee. All on the largest, fastest, reliable network for small businesses, with the company that powers more businesses than anyone else. So if you're a small business owner, don't wait. Call and get started today. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
For a limited time, ask how to get a $500 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle. Ends 9/21/22. Requires EcoBill and autopay. Restrictions apply. New business 50 megabits per second customers only. Equipment taxes and other charges extra and subject to change. After promo, regular rates apply.
For professional roofing, the name you need to know is D.R. Martineau. You can count on us for great service. You can count on us to get it done. You can count on us for a price that's fair. The quality is second to none. For professional roofing, the name you need to know is D.R. Martineau.
In the morning and at night, we're the station that gets it right. 92.5 WFSX Estero. Fox News. Right all along.
I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
Let me say that, unfortunately, I expect double-digit deaths.
Governor Andy Beshear. So far, it's 8 people killed, hundreds left homeless, including this woman who watched her home wash away.
Scared to death, like you're going to get sucked up. You're watching a house go.
Parts of Virginia and West Virginia also flooded. More is feared with more rain forecast.
Summer soaker across the heartland. This is the setup that we have had for the last couple of days, and it's going to remain the same as we get into the weekend. And
again, that's Janice Steen, the Fox meteorologist. Also more flooding in Missouri, too, for the second time this week in the St. Louis area.
Police in Hazelwood in north suburban St. Louis say a man's body was found Wednesday about a mile from his abandoned semi-truck that appeared to have been submerged in floodwaters that hit the area.
Fox's Jeff Manasso. A killer was killed late last night in Alabama. Joe Nathan James Jr. had no last words before getting a lethal injection for murdering a woman he'd stalked. Her daughters opposed his execution. Washington Mayor Muriel Bowser is requesting the National Guard help D.C. deal with the migrant border crisis that's reached her city.
So I've asked for the deployment of the Guard as long as we need the Guard.
This after Republican Texas Governor Greg Abbott, who blames Biden administration policies for a surge of migrants entering the U.S. illegally, sent busloads of thousands of migrants to D.C.
The Texas governor saying, quote, Washington, D.C. finally understands what Texans have been dealing with every single day.
Fox's Ashley Strohmeyer. President Biden insists the U.S. is not in recession, despite the GDP report showing the economy contracted a second quarter in a row, which is a definition of recession.
Our economy created more than 1 million jobs in the second quarter, the same period as today's GDP report covers.
He's pushing a new spending plan in Congress. He claims a lower inflation. Republicans say too much spending has caused it. America's listening to Fox News.
From early morning to late at night, the station that gets it right is 92.5 WFSX Estero. Fox News. Right all along.
This update is presented by Johnston Spinal Care, the leader in spinal decompression. Find them online at 596back.com.
Wink News, traffic.
In Fort Myers, if you're waking up near 3217 Highland Ave, you may see some police officers. There is a police present. Highland Ave is blocked until Highland Circle. You could use Edison Ave, Veronica Shoemaker, or Hanson, but again, it's not going to impact too many people. MLK, we will tell you you're moving slow, this around Fowler in both directions, and McGregor northbound Colonial to downtown, that'll take you 5 minutes. Get ready for just a little more traffic. In Arcadia, State Road 70, there is work going on in one eastbound lane, this North Lee Ave to Manatee Ave. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. Belinda Post, Wink News.
Wink Weather Authority.
Another hazy and hot one for today as we continue to see a plume of Saharan dust move overhead. This will still be limiting our rain chance today, though we should at least see some isolated afternoon and evening thunderstorms, especially for those areas along and east of the I-75 corridor and closer to our coastal zones. Temperatures continue to warm into middle 90s for today. Look for high close to about 95 degrees. We'll be off to another dry start for your Saturday with a low near 76 degrees. We climb back to 94 degrees for your Saturday afternoon. That Saharan dust less exits for the weekend, but we still will be looking at lower than average rain chances with isolated afternoon thunderstorms as we head into Saturday and Sunday. I'm Week News Weather Authority meteorologist Casey Sherman.
The news you need, the host you trust, getting it right all day and all night. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
Hey everybody, it's DJ Bugsy Bugs coming at you live from the studio. We heard a lot of people talking about that last National Exterminators commercial, so we made a brand new one just for you, featuring my son, Bugsy Jr. Bugsy, tell him what's going on.
Okay, Dad. Ahem. Do my best, I'll see you later. I call National Exterminators. For the 46 bucks they get all one and $10. 24946 new bug.
At National Exterminators, we have a lot of fun making these silly commercials, but what we take very seriously is taking excellent care of you and all of your pest control needs.
So call the boys at National Exterminators at 239-46-NO-BUG or visit them online at pestcontrolmadeeasy.com for all your pest control needs. Bugs, termites, rodents, and even attic insulation. Better service, better prices,
and no contracts.
Hi, I'm Lori, Ford O'Connell's mom.
And I'm Sarah, Ford's wife. We're big believers in family and freedom. You may have seen Ford on Fox News fighting for conservatives. Well, let me tell you personally, no one will fight for you like Ford. I'm proud to call him my husband.
Hi, it's Ford. I'd be nowhere without my family. They've got my back, and I'll have yours as your next state representative, alongside our great governor. Vote Ford O'Connell on August 23rd. Paid for by Ford O'Connell, Republican for state representative.
You insure your house, your car, your life. Why not insure your retirement plan? Most of you have suffered considerable volatility in your retirement plans. A 13% bonus and a 7% roll-up guarantees you a first-year increase of 20.9%. At age 65, that would provide you a guaranteed lifetime income of 6.22%, which includes a no medical exam home healthcare doubler. Call Retirement by Design at 249-8888. That's 249-8888.
Imagine replacing your old kitchen with the kitchen of your dreams. Brand new custom-made cabinet doors. Drawer fronts, hand-finished by true craftsmen. Designer hardware, new hinges, and everything installed beautifully in less than a week, start to finish. Expensive? No. To the contrary, with refacing by Cornerstone, you'll save so much, we should really talk about your master bathroom too. Go for wow. Go for Cornerstone.
We want to personally invite you to Duncan's Diamonds to see our beautiful selection of jewelry from the world's leading jewelry designers. Browse modern, vintage, and classic engagement ring styles. Looking for a ring that is truly unique and personal? Or you haven't found exactly what you're looking for? At Duncan's Diamonds, our personal jewelers, goldsmiths, and gemologists can create the perfect one-of-a-kind ring for you at Duncan's Diamonds. With our great financing and layaway plans, we make it easy for you. Visit Duncan's Diamonds today and leave confident you receive the highest quality at the best price. We have an unparalleled passion for bringing you the best in diamonds and jewelry. Best price guarantee, low monthly payments, and an unforgettable experience. All from Duncan's Diamonds. US 41, Gulf Coast Town Center, Naples at Mercado, and Port Charlotte Town Center.
When you need a new roof, it pays to deal with the best. King Roofing has built their business on a solid foundation of honest appraisals, fair pricing, and the finest workmanship. Your insurance may be paying the bills, but you'll live with your choice of roofer for years, even decades to come. Choose Roofing Royalty, and you'll never regret it. In Southwest Florida, there's only one King. Call King Roofing today.
Every castle deserves a king.
Thank you for waking us all up out here, for all you do. And
Thank you for giving us the voice.
for being out there helping to keep the constitutional republic. I want to thank you for your support for veterans in the military, educating us, standing up for conservatism, giving us the truth.
Daybreak with Drew Steele.
So yesterday, I got a bunch of emails after we were talking about Governor DeSantis and the bar in Miami and how they were having drag shows there and the kids that were showing up, 3 to 5 year olds, 8-year-olds, these little kids that were there. And I had a couple of people that were emailing me and talking about, and we mentioned it, talking about how the government shouldn't be involved in what a business does. This is setting up a really bad precedent. What are we doing here? How can you think that this is a good idea? So maybe I'm missing something in the discussion as to whether or not a 3-year-old or a 5-year-old or an 8-year-old should be in a bar to begin with, let alone being at a bar where they have drag shows and men who look like women and are positioned and proportioned to look like women as well. And you can only imagine how you do that. And I'll just tell you, it ain't natural. And then ultimately, you have them scantily clad, and then the kids are there. And somehow, because there are people that want that to stop, and we have to figure out about that, what we want to do, that somehow that we're wrong. I don't understand how that works. So maybe you can help me with that. 239-479-5592 is the Brett AC Talk and Text line. We stream live, drewsteele.com, the website, Steele has 3 He's. I don't know, maybe I'm missing something. So maybe we'll open up the phone lines later on and see what you think about that. That's going to be coming up. Also, some apologies from Whoopi Goldberg about wrongly linking neo-Nazi protesters to Turning Point USA, which I think was pretty funny. You know, it's amazing what a liberal, a leftist, a Democrat, a socialist, a Marxist will do when the law's coming for you and legally there's a problem and you like your paycheck. It's amazing how all of a sudden you'll start to apologize. And then there's some other things that are going on that are really important outside of what we'll just touch on, which is the recession coming up in the president's comments on the Inflation Reduction Act, which, of course, the act of what they're about to do will be nothing short of a disaster, and certainly nothing that is going to shrink inflation. That's for sure. But we also have Nancy Pelosi, who has put us in a very weird position. Why does Nancy Pelosi have to go to Taiwan? Why does she have to do this? Now, she's going to what? Seoul, South Korea. She's going to Japan. If she's in the area, she's going to have to stop by Taiwan. But I don't know. Nancy Pelosi's not going to be Speaker of the House much longer. Fingers crossed. And anything else that I could do with my body parts. And she certainly is going to be getting out sooner rather than later, right? I mean, if we're going to be honest about this.
Bowl of doggy do.
Pretty much. So why can't she just stay? Can't she just maybe get ready to take a break, head over to her home, maybe talk to her husband a little bit more about things that they can do shady behind the scenes to make millions of dollars, with insider trading or anything like that. Did I say that? There's no evidence of that. Yeah, there kind of is. And then maybe serve some ice cream to kids. Maybe take some of the ice cream out of the freezer. Is there something you can do instead of putting us in a position where, listen, she's going to have to go? Right? Well, we'll get to that in just a second. I'm having coughing fits here, and I don't know why. I think it's allergies. It's the Sahara dust.
It's the dust.
You got to blame it on. I know. You got to blame it on the dust. You either blame it on the dust or you blame it on the rain. I don't know which one you blame it on.
Blame it on both.
Yeah.
Like the Democrats, blame everybody.
How does it go? Oh man. No, you have to blame it. Come on, you got to blame it on the rain because whatever you do. I'm going to do this. I have to do it. Sorry, I have to do it. That's right. You got to, here you go. You ready? You got to, whatever you do, you don't put the blame on you. You blame it on the rain.
Are you reading lyrics?
I'm reading, yes. I am reading the lyrics. Do you know which song I'm talking about?
No idea.
You have no idea? You don't know the song?
I thought it was Africa by Toto.
You don't know the song Blame It on the Rain?
I know the Bless the Rains.
239-479-5592. Listen, it's Friday, and sometimes you just have to escape from the nonsense and enter more nonsense. Can you just tell Jake, go ahead and text him. Just text the line or call. Blame It on the Rain. Who kind of sort of sang the song? There's a clue. Kind of sort of sang the song.
I don't get that.
Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. You have no idea. I can't believe This is
it like a hair band?
No, but we're going to, maybe later, we're going to replay, in case you missed our conversation with Congressman Byron Donalds from yesterday, we'll replay the interview at 6:35. Sometime this morning, because it's Friday, we will explore this little nugget that is Blame It on the Rain, not only the song, but the group that sang it, and the history behind it. And maybe Jake will be shocked and surprised to find out this history. It's, unless you want to just talk about it right now. No, I don't know. Maybe we'll wait. I think we wait. All right. Joe Biden is president of the United States. I think he still knows it. And listen, he cares about this Inflation Reduction Act. He's got it all together, and it depends on who we ask. It's certainly not a recession if you ask the White House, but if you ask the past 10 out of 10 times when we had two negative GDP quarters, everybody said it was a recession. 10 out of 10. The last 10 times we had two negative quarters, it was called a recession. But this time around, it's not. You got to figure something's not right. Well, it's because society's not right. Because somehow we've convinced you that that guy is actually a girl, that person going into that bathroom needs to go into that particular bathroom, that you can't tell what a woman is because you're not a biologist. And you also can't say what a recession is because we tell you it's something completely different. Are you following all of this, or am I off base? But the president's got it all figured out.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, hi.
Yesterday, I spoke with both Senator Schumer and Manchin.
Great.
And offered my support for a historic agreement to fight inflation and lower costs for American families. It's called the Inflation Reduction Act of 2022.
Of course, it's got a fancy name, and if it's called the Inflation Reduction Act, kind of like the Affordable Care Act, you know that if it's in the name, it's golden. Okay.
Some of you will see a lot of similarities between the beginning of the Build Back Better initiative. It's not all of it.
Oh, boy. Some of you are going to see some similarities between Build Back Better. Really? So right now, you should be out. If you're a Republican, you should be out. Anything that has to do with Build Back Better, anything that has to do with what this Democrat Party wants to do and the agenda they want to push before the 22 elections, when you have control to stop the nonsense and to stop the spending, you should stop completely anything that's happening out of this White House and this Democrat Party when you know victory is in your fingertips. But the Republicans, they always steal defeat out of the jaws of victory. We'll explain coming up.
We've moved a long way. I'll be going into detail in a minute, but simply put, the bill will lower health care costs for millions of Americans. It will be the most important investment. Not hyperbole, the most important investment we've ever made in our energy security and developing cost savings and job-creating clean energy solutions for the future.
Clean energy solutions, energy. Do you know where we're going? Of course you know where we're going. We're going with lots of spending. We're going with climate change. It's Build Back Better. It's the Green New Deal. It's all of it all over again. We're not in a climate crisis. Well, it depends on who you ask, right? Because it's a climate crisis.
Consumers a tax credit to buy any electric vehicle or fuel cell vehicle.
Oh, good.
New or used.
Oh, nice.
And a tax credit for up to $7,500 if those vehicles were made in America.
Now, are they always made in America? Well, there's a lot of parts that are not made in America, but that's okay. When you're getting the lithium and other things from outside of the country, and the nickel and whatever has to go into the batteries, and you get that from China, and then of course the plastics and wherever they're manufactured, usually in China. When you see a car that's manufactured or put together in the United States, the parts, where do they come from? Hey, that doesn't make a difference because we can manipulate listen, up is down, good is bad. It doesn't make a difference. Whatever we say, it's in the name. It's an Inflation Reduction. It's Affordable Care Act. It's all of these things. It doesn't matter. It's in the name. So you're good to go, right?
This investment in environmental justice is real.
The investment in environmental justice, everybody, is real. Look, they're going to talk about climate crisis. They're going to talk about climate. They're going to talk about renewables. They're going to talk about all of the things that we said, no, we do not want you to spend money on this. We are not in a climate crisis. There is no climate crisis. By the way, an interesting article brought up in the American thinker Ron Ross is the writer of such article. The one point that can get people off the global warming obsession train. How many people are on this train? How many people in the Republican Party are on this train? How many people in the Republican Party have been convinced that sea levels are rising and all we have to do is spend money and we can stop the CO2 in the atmosphere, and there are things that we can do to the atmosphere with just spending the right amount of money so that the sea levels won't rise, the polar bears won't be floating on an ice cube out in the middle of nowhere, where we will have dogs and cats getting along all over town. It will be just amazing, and we won't need fossil fuels because we'll be having vehicles that will be powered by the sun, and life that'll be powered by wind, and oceans will be clean, and you can stick your hand in there and just drink right out of the oceans. There's no fish poo, nothing. It's just nothing to worry about. Everything is perfect. Climate alarmists play the hide the magnitude game. If they didn't, they would soon be out of business. Politely ask a few of your friends how much of the air they're breathing is CO2. I've done that. And the typical answer when I get one is, I don't know, maybe 20% or more. Does that sound right, Jake? About 20% of the air you breathe is CO2? Maybe. You don't know. I don't. I don't know.
I'm not a scientist.
I can tell you I'm not a biologist, so I don't know. I'm not a scientist. I'm not any of these things. I don't know. So if somebody says how much of the air we're breathing right now is CO2, you come up with all kinds of numbers. It depends. I don't know. Climate alarmists rarely talk about the actual quantitative composition of our atmosphere. The impression they give is that a substantial part of the air that surrounds us comprises carbon dioxide. The proportion of carbon dioxide is increasing rapidly, right? That we hear it all the time. Carbon dioxide's going through the roof. The increase is primarily the result of human activity, mostly from burning fossil fuels, and that if CO2 continues to increase, it's game over for humanity. Recently, the rhetoric has escalated from climate crisis to climate emergency. How many times have we heard the president, climate emergency, climate crisis? We hear it all the time. He just said it's the most significant bill in history, and it's going to tackle the climate crisis. Didn't he say this? Right?
And more by giving tax credits for those who build these projects here in America. Now, let me be clear.
Be clear.
This bill would be the most significant legislation in history to tackle the climate crisis.
Climate crisis, there it is, right? It's a crisis, and in some cases, it's an emergency. The actual magnitude tells a very different story. Hey, everybody, did you know that carbon dioxide constitutes 4/100ths of 1% of the air we breathe, or 400 parts per million? That's an extremely tiny fraction of the atmosphere. Hey, anybody want to ask about that? Is he right, or is this guy completely off his rocker? What constitutes the rest of the air around us? 78% of the air we breathe is nitrogen, 21% is oxygen, 0.9% is argon, 0.1% is other gases. The other gases include methane, 0.00017%, nitrous oxide, 0.00003%, and water vapor, which varies from 0 to 4%. How can such a small magnitude of CO2 be dooming humanity? Furthermore, how can climate change alarmists be absolutely positively certain that if CO2 continues to increase, it's going to be lights out for life on Earth? And then he brings up that there were periods in our history, in the planet's history, Earth's history, where CO2 constituted over 5,000 parts per million of the Earth's atmosphere. 150 million years ago, the Cretaceous period, it was 1,700 parts per million, more than 4 times what it is now. Life thrived during those periods. How can 400 parts a million be a threat to an existence? Before humans started burning fossil fuels 200 years ago, CO2 made up 250 parts a million of the atmosphere. It's been growing at about 1 part per million per year for the past 150 years. In other words, a very small magnitude is growing at a very slow rate. Is there any reason that rate's going to accelerate when it hasn't in a century and a half? If this magnitude were more generally known, people would want explanation. It defies common sense that such a small magnitude could be responsible for certain catastrophic changes. The least we ought to do is be skeptical. Hey, are we asking these questions? Are we allowed to talk about this? Or are you climate crazies out of your mind? Are you Republicans who want to spend money and give money to environmentalists who want to take that money and use it politically against you? Are you wrong? Have you stopped and taken a step back for just a half a second and said, well, hold on a second. Can I see some numbers? We want to spend all of this money and we're going to fix. Yeah, can I get an accounting of what you're spending all of this on? Is that too much to ask for? When we talk about climate and climate change and the things you're trying to accomplish, hey, how much CO2 do we breathe all the time? How many parts per million are there? Did you know it's parts per million as opposed to percentages? Like giant, like 20, like 50, like 60? Like, do you know this? And if this person, this Ron Ross, who is a PhD, if he's wrong, then let's talk about how wrong he is. But if he's right, can we talk about that as well? Yeah, the president, the Democrat Party, and in a lot of cases, Republicans are ready to sell you down the river. They've done it. There's another story that Town Hall has. Did Manchin and Schumer successfully trick Mitch McConnell and the Senate Republicans? Yeah, because some interesting things took place while the CHIPS Act, the fact that we need to manufacture our own semiconductors here, especially for the military, because of the fact that there are other countries that we've ceded over control of those semiconductors. And boy, if they were to pull that, we'd have a tough time. I don't know, driving cars, flying planes. Yeah, we don't want that to be in other people's hands. We like to have control of that. And in doing so, and in typical Democrat fashion, as they try to make it seem as if they care about this issue, they stuff the bill with pork, where the president's going to get ready to sign this, where Republicans sign off on it because they don't want to look like the bad guys in all of this, which is exactly what they did. And ultimately, Joe Manchin says, hey, you know what? I'm not going to do anything with Build Back Better. I'm not going to do anything and support any kind of Inflation Reduction Act. I'm not going to get behind anything that has to do with spending more money. Hey, did we get that thing passed, that CHIPS thing? Because that makes me look real good. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, literally Manchin and Schumer pulled the wool over our eyes and fooled Mitch McConnell once again. Like, duped. We'll get into more detail on exactly how that happens later on in the program. But again, recession, no recession. There are some people that are like, why do we even care if a recession? Why do you even have to call it? What difference does it make? Does it It's like a Hillary Clinton thing. What difference at this point does it make?
I'm really offended personally.
We are offended by you all the time. But it matters because if enough people in this country believe that a recession here, okay, let me explain this. And then we got to go to break, Jake. Get ready, okay? Sorry, I'm running late. Here's why you care whether or not we call a recession a recession. Because if you allow people to do what they have been doing on the left in this country, which is to redefine everything from recessions, go to Wikipedia right now and see what a recession is. 2 days ago, a recession was 2 down quarters. Guess what it is now? Go take a look. They've changed the definition on Wikipedia, and they've locked the Wikipedia page so nobody can change it. No, I'm not kidding. Go check it out. If you allow people to think that it doesn't matter if the definition of a recession and that the specifics aren't important, then you are allowing the American people to not care whether or not somebody wants to come along and spend money and do things. And when you say, well, we're in a recession, they say, no, we're not in a recession. It's okay. And then it allows for things to happen that will continue to bring this country to its knees. Stagflation into a depression, which is exactly where this party wants the country to go because they want this country on its knees. Because they want the Constitution on its knees. They want this building back better means to tear it down to begin with. You can't allow it to happen. All right. Let's go. We got to go to break. I know, we're late. It's Daybreak 92.5. Fox News, right all along.
92.5 Fox News. Right.
Hey everybody, Dr. Amy here, your favorite chiropractor. We're back for your daily dose of Did You Know Chiropractic can help with that. And today we're going to talk about knee pain and arthritis. Specifically, I want to tell you about Susie. When I met Susie, she had constant knee pain that was limiting her activity and had even started to limit her ability to walk. And she was told it was arthritis. She actually believed the doctors when they told her it was arthritis because she had previously broken her kneecap. So when I did my full evaluation for subluxation, I took x-rays of her knees and it showed no arthritis. We were able to trace it all the way back to her spine, and the x-rays revealed a curve in her low back. And that curve in her low back is exactly what was causing the knee pain. So through my scoliosis protocol, we were able to correct that curve, and it might seem like a small thing to you, but Susie no longer has knee pain. Are you dealing with knee pain that you can't get rid of and thinking it's just arthritis? It might not be. Call us 239-628-4899, and remember, your power is on.
Our kids can't vote, but you can. I'm Denise Nystrom for Lee County School Board District 6. Everyone votes for me in District 6. As a former assistant superintendent of schools, I am not happy with our education system. I have attended all school board meetings, and with my skill set, I can hit the ground running. School board elections are critical. If we want our country back, we take our children back. I have the right credentials. I am the right choice. Vote August 23rd for Denise Nystrom. Paid for by Denise Nystrom for Lee County School Board District 6.
If you're being told no for credit, now is the time for you to come and get it during Naples Nissan's Buy Here, Finance Here Guaranteed Credit Approval Sales Event. Average credit, bad credit, no problem. At Naples Nissan, all you need is an address and proof of income, and just like that, we'll get you approved so you can drive home in a new car today. Go to naplesnissan.com, pick out your favorite brand new Nissan or your favorite pre-owned vehicle. We've got over 200 to choose from, by the way. Then come see us on Pine Ridge Road for guaranteed credit approval so you can drive it home today. Cars, trucks, SUVs, sports cars, any make and model, they all qualify for a guaranteed credit approval. Don't miss the Buy Here, Finance Here Guaranteed Credit Approval Sales Event happening right now only at Naples Nissan, and don't be told no again. Final approval for purchase may be subject to down payment requirements. See dealer for details.
I'm Tiffany Esposito, and I'm running to represent you in the Florida House. Recently, Democrats and Rhino Republicans in Washington, D.C. passed one of the largest gun control bills ever. And of course, President Brandon signed it into law. If you elect me to the Florida House, I will stand up and fight against any and every attempt to take away our Second Amendment rights. And I'll stand with Governor Ron DeSantis in his fight to bring constitutional carry to Florida. I'm Tiffany Esposito. I'm a gun owner, a concealed weapons permit holder, and a candidate for the Florida House. And I believe the Second Amendment should be the only permit we need to carry a gun. Our Constitution is clear when it says shall not be infringed. But unfortunately, the liberal left thinks passing laws that only affect law-abiding citizens will make us safer. But they are dead wrong. I'm Tiffany Esposito, and I'm asking for your vote so I can go to Tallahassee and fight to keep Brandon's policies out of Florida. Paid by Tiffany Esposito, Republican, for Florida House District 77.
Rock Solid wants to know, would you like free countertops? If you're a new home or business owner, the time to have new countertop materials where you only pay for labor is now. This is a limited time offer from Rock Solid. Hugo wants to help our community grow, so he's giving new and prospective homeowners and business owners free countertop materials. You only pay for labor. Call Rock Solid right now, 239-596-7676. Or come into Rock Solid in Naples or Port Charlotte. See store for details.
Why does Comcast Business power more businesses than any other provider? It has technology solutions that put you ahead, plus the fastest, reliable network and serious savings. Whether your small business is starting or growing, you need Comcast Business. Powering possibilities. Restrictions apply. Actual speeds vary.
Injuries on the job can cause you to lose control. I'm Glenn Levine from the law offices of Anajar Levine. Money is not coming in and your medical bills are piling up. Our legal team is here to help. We can help you file all your workers' compensation claims to make sure you get the proper benefits you're entitled to. If you've been injured on the job, call the law offices of Anajar Levine at 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733 for a free consultation and take back control of your life. Office in Naples.
92.5 Fox News. Right.
This
all
Fox
along.
Business Report is presented by the Darda Real Estate Group at dardagroup.com.
I'm Maria Bartiromo, and this is the Fox Business Report.
JetBlue agrees to buy Spirit Airlines for $3.8 billion in what would create the fifth largest U.S. carrier. A Texas judge orders Spectrum Cable to pay $7 billion to a family of a Dallas County woman killed by an employee after installing her cable. UPS workers in New York rally over claims of unsafe conditions in summer heat. Stocks closed higher despite a report showing the economy shrank for a second straight quarter. Investors betting the Fed will eventually slow the pace of interest rate hikes sent the Dow up 332 points and the NASDAQ 130. And the Mega Millions estimated jackpot for tonight grows to $1.1 billion. I'm Carmen Roberts. That's your Fox Business Report. Invested in you.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, beat the largest timeshare company in federal court and has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-328-9696. That's 800-328-9696.
When listening to the radio in your car, remember to always drive on the right side of the road. Keep it here on 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
For professional roofing, the name you need to know is D.R. Martineau. You can count on us for great service. You can count on us to get it done. You can count on us for a price that's fair. The quality is second to none. For professional roofing, the name you need to know is D.R. Martineau.
The Diamond District is a retail store selling at wholesale prices. Their team will help you to find what is best for you and your budget by walking you through the variety of factors that change the beauty and prices of a diamond. And you can be sure that with Jason and Todd, you will buy a diamond at a wholesale price.
It's Fred Kobe with your Kobe Cooling Tip of the Day. Most of you know my granddaughter Kaylee, who has been doing commercials with me for 10 years. We laugh when we hear commercials about free air handlers and vacations all over Europe, or maybe even a giant rebate to buy your old air conditioner back. It's just funny. It says that these advertisers think you're that stupid, they can give something away for free. It's just crazy. She's only 12 years old, and even she knows better than that. When you call Kobe Cooling, you'll get an honest, NATE certified mechanic who won't try to sell you an air conditioner, he'll fix it. And if you want to go on vacation, by all means go on vacation. When you think of air conditioning companies, we hope you'll think of Kobe Cooling. No nonsense and no pressure. We're the company your neighbors use. License CACO 57313. Kobe, the most trusted name in the business since 1949.
I'm Armor Persons, candidate for the Lee County School Board. I am proud to have the endorsement of America's Governor, Ron DeSantis. Our school district has lost its way. Liberals and their extreme leftist policies have taken over. They force transgender policies that allow boys to use girls' bathrooms and compete against them on the athletic fields. And they are pushing anti-American critical race theory ideology in the classroom. I'm Armor Persons, and I'm running for the school board to end this nonsense and put parents and taxpayers back in charge of our schools. And I have the support of Governor Ron DeSantis. Governor DeSantis endorsed me because he knows I am a conservative that will fight to empower parents, end political indoctrination in the classrooms, prioritize school safety, and rein in the out-of-control spending. I'm Armor Persons, and I'm asking for your vote on August 23rd so I can bring conservative policies to the Lee County School Board. Paid by Armor Persons for Lee County School Board, District 5.
How do you beat the heat in Florida? With a cool new ride that's certified. Hurry to your #1 certified pre-owned dealers, Sutherland Nissan Fort Myers and Sutherland Nissan Cape Coral. During the Drive Certified Sales Event, you get huge discounts on our huge inventory. Over 200 new vehicles in stock with more and more on the way. Reserve yours now. And to make it easy to drive a nicer, newer vehicle, get up to $8,000 over book value for your trade. So if your old car is worth only $2,000, you get $10,000. If it's worth $10,000, you get $18,000. Click SutherlandNissanBuysIt.com to see how much you'll get. All Sutherland certified vehicles cost thousands less than new and come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Get up to $8,000 more for your trade. Save thousands paying less. Save hundreds in repairs. That's how you beat the heat. All offers end Monday. Rush to Sutherland Nissan Fort Myers and Sutherland Nissan Cape Coral now. Your used car megastore online at FLNissan.com. If you don't shop Sutherland, you'll pay too much. See dealer for details.
Fox News listeners, Saturday morning is the perfect time to talk boats and water fun in Southwest Florida. This is Adam Botana again from Baywater Sousa Boat Club. Join us every Saturday morning from 7 to 8 for the Baywater Boat Club Hour. We talk boats, fishing, boating hotspots, water quality, on top of Jake the Millennial and I just having fun on the radio. And if you don't have a boat, Baywater Sousa Boat Club has got you covered. Just call me, Adam, at 239-495-0455.
Stay right here, because after Drew, it's Glenn Beck, 9 to noon. 92.5 Fox News. Right, all along. This is Daybreak with Drew Steele on 92.5 Fox News.
Hey, I heard about a man in Florida who was arrested for a DUI at Walmart after he crashed a motorized scooter into the shelves. Wait a second. Walmart, drunk, scooter crash, arrested. Bingo! I got Florida bingo! I got it!
Come on. You see, why do you have to do this? Why couldn't the scooter riding, crashing into Walmart, couldn't that be someplace else? Couldn't it be some other state? It has to. Why does it have to be here? So that they can go on these national shows and make it seem like every one of you is a Walmart driving, scooter crashing, drunk person. Can they do DUIs? They can't do DUIs on scooters inside of a building, can they?
Driving while under the influence. I don't think that you're driving while
law enforcement. I know there's somebody listening to this program that's in law enforcement. You don't have to identify who you are. 239-479-5592. Can you get a DUI inside of a Walmart if you crash your scooterized vehicle? Your motorized scooter or your scooterized motor into a...
See, but how can you be cited for driving a vehicle that doesn't require a license or driver's license?
These and many other questions may or not be answered by an anonymous law enforcement official who will call this station.
Then I would have been arrested a lot because I used to take those carts and drive them around the store and get in trouble.
Too much info. All right. You may have missed it yesterday. We had our Congressman Byron Donalds, 19th District, here in Southwest Florida. He does his usual Thursday visit with us, and we do appreciate that. And we started the conversation talking about recession, non-recession, changing the language of what a recession is and isn't. And it is just absolutely, with this administration, become ridiculous.
I mean, listen, Drew, to be honest with you, this White House just engages in propaganda all the time. Here's another example of that. And I don't want to play the whataboutism game, because I get it. If Donald Trump was president, or if George W. Bush was president, or if George H.W. or Ronald Reagan was president and tried to pull this crap, the media would basically lose their collective minds and shame this White House for trying to talk down their terrible economic policy and trying to, frankly, to use the modern media's term, use misinformation to basically to lead the American people down a line that isn't truth. They're big on this whole misinformation and truth kick, but they have no problem with this coming from the White House. But this is a bigger issue than just Republican, Democrat politics. I think the bigger issue is, and people need to understand this, words have meaning. A woman has a legal definition in law, and a clear definition in natural law for millennia on the planet Earth. Forget America for a moment. And when you allow a group of people to literally redefine words on the fly to fit their narrative and fit their agenda, you can't maintain a society. And I think to a broader aspect, past just a ridiculous politics of it, is you have a party that has no problem with redefining terms and redefining words to suit their own interests. Mm-hmm. You don't get to have it both ways. This is the problem we have with the quote-unquote living and breathing Constitution that's been going on for 120 years in the United States, where we have a political party and a political movement that has no problem with reinterpreting reinterpreting the Constitution or finding all the emanations and penumbras that don't exist in the Constitution to suit their own interests. It's wrong. This is another example with this whole what a recession really is nonsense.
Yeah, and what we're going to see now. I mean, what are we going to see? 3/4 of a point is something that recently in recent history people look at and say, right, that's a lot. Man, is it a lot? And coming off of the same thing not too long ago. You go back to the late 70s, early 80s, it was a lot more than that in order to get inflation under control. It was 3, 4s. I mean, it was huge chunks of interest rate changes to try to get everything under control. It just feels like, especially with the spending that the Democrats plan on doing, thanks to Joe Manchin and others, that's the kind of numbers that we're going to need to see to get everything under control. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, first of all, on inflation, the Fed's interest rate rise puts us anywhere from 2.25 to 2.5. That's like the Fed funds target.
Right.
I mean, in retrospect, in historical retrospect, it's actually quite low of an interest rate still. So I think the Fed's got a lot of more room in them. I think Fed funds rate, and, this is not an economic model. This is just a prediction. That could be anywhere from 4 to 5%. That's kind of where I think the Fed might tap out. But that's number one. Number two, what Joe Manchin agreed to last night is like Build Back Better light. What they have in that bill is massive spending for climate change. They have massive spending. What they did is they reauthorized in their deal these Obamacare subsidies that showed up during COVID, and they want to extend that to 2025 now. So COVID's over, but they want to extend the subsidies to 2025. This global minimum tax, which no other country has signed on to yet. Joe Biden negotiated this behind closed doors with these other G20 nations, but they've not passed it. So what will happen is there will be a minimum tax of 15% on all U.S. corporations. These other countries haven't passed it, and odds are they're not going to pass it, but we're going first. And so that's the bedrock of this deal that Joe Manchin signed on to last night. And this is all in the backdrop of something called the CHIPS bill, where it looked like there was going to be support for the CHIPS bill, but the CHIPS bill got loaded up with more corporate welfare and other issues like that. So you have real issues that the CHIPS bill may not pass because the Democrats don't just know how to take care of business and move on. They use every opportunity to push their agenda. And I want voters to really understand this. This is not a partisan viewpoint. This is what happens. There's something that must take place. We need to do something about chips in the United States, especially advanced semiconductors in the United States. But at the same time, that doesn't mean you sign off on all this other foolishness. That's like people doing their stupid TikTok saying that I oppose interracial marriage. I mean, Drew, how dumb is that? Because in that bill was all this other crap I don't agree with. And you get an up and down vote on the bill, not segments of the bill.
Right. Well, that's going to call attention to something we've talked about for weeks. I think I bring it up almost every time we talk in some way, shape, or form, and I'll say it again. If Republicans take the House 22 and leading into 24, why not move things forward in the future that are clean bills? Why can't we just have Republicans push clean bills? Just a clean bill on the border. Just secure the border, period, full stop. Forget the amnesty issues, forget anything else. A clean bill on the border. A clean bill on all of these different things that we need to get done. Clean bills. Have Republicans put it out that way. Let the Democrats come back with all the pork so that everybody can see what it is that they're trying to do and load up on, and get Republicans to start throwing out some clean bills out there. Let's get some work done.
So I totally agree with you. What I see here on Capitol Hill after a year and a half is nobody really puts in heavy work in terms of we need to move multiple things at once and get the body working. Everything comes out of the Speaker's office. And unfortunately, with Nancy Pelosi, everything is loaded up for all her pet projects.
Right.
And then what she does through the negotiating process is she peels away the stuff that she kind of wants but doesn't really want. So the stuff that she really, really wants remains. I totally agree. We should have gone to single subject bills long ago here on Capitol Hill. It would actually make the process simpler because more good business would actually get accomplished for the American people, as opposed to being caught up in these these cliffhanger fights where it's if we don't pass this, the world is over as we know it. So then they lard it up with all this other BS, and then you have members vote for this stuff. And I think it's also member discipline. Members of Congress need to understand that if you stand on principle and do the right thing, your voters will reward you for that. And you can't be afraid of leadership, and you can't be afraid of media. You got to do the right thing at the right time. And I think what you're going to see probably today or tomorrow with this CHIPS bill, my hope is that Republicans will stand together and oppose it because of the way they larded this thing up. I know that Steve Scalise and Kevin McCarthy are now whipping no votes on the CHIP bill. That is a good thing because the CHIP bill is now going to be a prelude to this ridiculous budget reconciliation deal that Joe Manchin and Chuck Schumer cut yesterday.
Yeah, man, Republicans got to get on board with that. That's one of the frustrating things. And, I've talked to you about this many times in the past. It's just that when you do these, if we just do these one issue bills, a clean bill, you get all these things done. It's a win. It's a win because it's the right thing to do, and these are winning issues. When you get that issue, that one specific thing solved, that helps people politically. You just tell the Democrats, listen, sit back and let us get the business done. Okay, if you're just gonna load it up and you're gonna oppose it, just do that. But you've got to get Republicans on board as well, because not everybody. Yeah,
I agree. And the worst culprits of this stuff, unfortunately, are Senate Republicans.
Yep.
I'm telling you right now, you have Senate Republicans who are the worst culprits of this stuff. You have Susan Collins, Lisa Murkowski, Romney.
Yep.
McConnell does this mess all the time. You have a bunch of Senate Republicans who take these vehicles. Because, look, not a lot of bills move through the Senate. So they take these bills as a way to accomplish other things along the pathway, hoping that nobody really cares enough about the other things to vote for the overall package.
Yeah.
And that's what happens in state of play. Listen, so 2 weeks ago, we were rushed into a hearing about chips. And basically, the premise of the hearing was, you guys have to get your house in order, relatively speaking, the House meaning, and pass chips, because if you don't, it's a clear and present danger from a national security perspective. Well, if it was so abrupt 2 weeks ago, how come you weren't talking about this 3 months ago?
Right.
This is the problem here in Washington, D.C. There is no urgency until there's an urgency. And then they want you to suspend your logic, suspend your disbelief, just hurry up and vote yes, so the train keeps running on and on like it always does. It's got to stop.
Yeah. And if you remember when we were talking about this, talking to the audience now, I talked about this the week before last when I was discussing how this was being held up, and the idea that we have a national security issue with chips. You're talking about Pelosi going to Taiwan, a place specifically we're getting chips. China's not all about that. From AP, you've got the talk of Milley and the military talking about getting prepared for what could be war there in the area. There's some very harsh talk coming from the CCP about a visit and what that would mean, and how that could all be turned off. And if we're not even talking about chips for your cell phones. We're talking about military. We're talking about things that we need for national security. And so to have it on our shores and to be able to do this is of critical importance. And it's not the time to be hanging it up because Nancy Pelosi wants something for the district or others want it, or even Republicans. It's not the time to do that. These are the one issue things that we're talking about. Like, you get this done. Just get it done. And it's critical.
I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
Totally agree with you. And I think that this is the part about advanced processors people need to understand. In the United States, we produce a lot of chips. We do produce a lot of chips, a lot of chips. What we don't really produce are the highly advanced semiconductors, in part that are used for military operations, in part that are used in some of our more intensive consumer products. People wonder why used car sales are down, because we have a chip. Used car prices are up. Car prices are up. You can't get car inventory. It's because of advanced semiconductors. There's a shortage in the overall market. It's simply not there. And so as a result, like anything else, people still want to buy cars, but there are not enough cars, so the prices go up.
Yeah. Simple
supply and demand, simple economics. I wish Joe Biden and the congressional Democrats understood it. We'd be in a better place.
Quickly before we go, I wanted to touch on this yesterday in the oversight hearing. You were addressing the gun debate. There were a lot of people there that you were talking to, and the back and forth president with the words that he was talking recently about, and some of the viral videos of him doing what Joe Biden does, and of course this debate there on Capitol Hill. And maybe talk a little bit about what it was like there at this oversight hearing, and again how this tragedies that happened in this country. Certainly we all see and we feel and we hurt and we mourn, but at the same time, how we have a Second Amendment that, listen, if you want to do something, Democrats, you mentioned it yesterday, you have an avenue to do it.
Mm-hmm. But they can't do that. There's no way you're going to get 38 states to agree to amend the Constitution, especially not on that. On the right to bear arms. It's just not going to happen.
Right.
Look, here's the deal. I think that we had families from Uvalde and Highland Park in the room for a debate about holding gun manufacturers liable. For a couple things. One, for the families, it was awful. One family had a picture of their son who was killed in Uvalde, and they sat there quietly and they were watching the deliberation of the Oversight Committee. And I felt bad for them. Because you hear what you have is a family that's grieving. And in some respects, I feel that the Democrats brought them into the hearing room as a prop to bring pressure on gun manufacturers or on Republicans or people who don't agree with their position. I talked with one of the mothers outside for 25 minutes before I went to the floor to vote. And she was like, I'm here to just get something done. And I told her, like I said in my comments, the problem is this move to get something done always leads to bad outcomes. I said, this political body here does not do well under do something now, because what they end up doing are bad policies that actually hurt the American people, don't help the American people. And we cannot just unilaterally unwind rights in the United States because a tragedy occurred. Because the truth is that the Second Amendment was not to stop tragedies. The Second Amendment was to propel tyrannical government. That's its purpose. It's always been its purpose. I know people want to talk about hunting. That's not its purpose. And so you have the Democrats who want to compare us to other countries on the world. They want to compare us to Australia. Australia doesn't have a Second Amendment. And so they just took their guns in Australia, and the citizens aren't happy, but the government officials think it's great. But I think that's wrong. We are a country where individual liberties do matter. Our Constitution is a constitution of negative rights. It puts stopgaps. It puts holes on federal power. It doesn't open up federal power. Mm-hmm. But we're dealing with a Democrat Party and, frankly, a culture in the United States that believes that the Constitution means that the federal government has the ability to do everything. That is actually not true. The Constitution put roadblocks and put brake lines and put concrete walls around the federal government to limit their power and to limit its authority. And that's what I was trying to explain to the people who are in the room and also the victims around the world, and from the other victims who are dealing with the aftermath of these horrific mass shootings.
Sure.
Like I don't want those things to happen either. Nobody does. But at the same time, the members have a responsibility to uphold the Constitution and to protect individual freedoms and rights, not take them away because it might be politically popular for a 24-hour period or a week-long period.
Yeah. Congressman Byron Donalds joining us on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. All right, my friend, I appreciate you. Thanks for a few minutes of your time, and we'll see you next week.
All right, take it easy, Drew.
All right, see you.
Joe Biden's plan for America? Recycled leftovers. Time for some right thinking. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
Dan Severson is running for Lee County School Board to provide conservative leadership for our conservative community. For too long, the Lee County School District has been plagued by woke liberal agendas. Out-of-control spending and constant infighting has created an environment where our kids come last. We need a strong conservative leader who will make sure our children's education and safety come first. That leader is Dan Severson. Dan Severson has spent his life serving our community, from his time as a U.S. Navy Top Gun fighter pilot to his 8 years fighting for conservative policies in the state legislature. Dan has the experience and principles we need on the Lee County School Board. Dan Severson will put parents back in charge of their children's education and put an end to liberal indoctrination policies like critical race theory and gender grooming. He'll also rein in spending to balance the out-of-control budget. Dan Severson is the conservative leader our conservative community needs on the Lee County School Board. Paid by Dan Severson for Lee County School Board, District 4.
It takes several sources of energy to bring you energy. There's natural gas, nuclear, solar, and something else. What led us to go green before it was fashionable and reduce our dependence on foreign oil back in 2001. All while standing up for the American values we hold dear. You must have a source of energy that's pretty darn special. Florida Power and Light.
Pandemic, market drops, elections. Don't let the noise and fear distract you. Where do you go for clarity in uncertain times? I'm Alfie Townsend, Southwest Florida's financial planner. For experience, advice on planning for retirement, visit savingtheinvestor.com.
Dear Lee County residents, on August 23rd, you'll elect a new county commissioner due to the passing of Frank Mann. I'm Joseph Gambino, and I'm not a politician. I don't have any special interest to serve on the county commission seat. I always put God, family, and country first. Lee County is one of the fastest growing counties in our nation. I'm committed to keep taxes low and maintain our quality of life. I'll get right to work and tackle the key issues in our county, like rapid development, rising electric rates, supporting small businesses, and water quality. My opponents are wealthy, power-hungry tycoons, one in construction development and the other a serial politician in commercial real estate. I doubt their motives as county commissioner have anything to do with improving life for you or your family. Elect me, and I will owe no favors to anyone except doing what's in the best interests of the residents of Lee County. I will be a commissioner for the people. So, on August 23rd, vote for Joseph Gambino, Lee County Commissioner, District 5. I'm Joseph Gambino, and I approve this message.
If you're being told no for credit, now is the time for you to come and get it during Naples Nissan's Buy Here, Finance Here Guaranteed Credit Approval Sales Event. Average credit, bad credit, no problem. At Naples Nissan, all you need is an address and proof of income, and just like that, we'll get you approved so you can drive home in a new car today. Go to naplesnissan.com, pick out your favorite brand new Nissan or your favorite pre-owned vehicle. We've got over 200 to choose from, by the way. Then come see us on Pine Ridge Road for guaranteed credit approval so you can drive it home today. Cars, trucks, SUVs, sports cars, any make and model, they all qualify for a guaranteed credit approval. Don't miss the Buy Here, Finance Here Guaranteed Credit Approval Sales Event happening right now only at Naples Nissan, and don't be told no again. Final approval for purchase may be subject to down payment requirements. See dealer for details.
You'd think an Army veteran with a military career including multiple combat deployments throughout the Middle East would be a great American. And you'd be right. But Joe Vanderbosch also happens to be a great dentist. An Army veteran of 8 years, Dr. Joe now makes his home in Southwest Florida, where his wife Sarah grew up.
Hi, I'm Dr. Joseph Vanderbosch, Freedom Dental on Metro Parkway in Fort Myers. In the Army, I received extra training in order to provide dental care in virtually any condition. That's why I can manage many dental treatments without the need to refer to a specialist. I served my country proudly for 8 years. Now I want to serve you and your dental needs. Special discounts for former and active military without dental insurance.
Dr. Vanderbosch provides emergency care and is now accepting new patients for cleaning, extractions, crowns, implants, and more. Find them online at freedomdentalfortmyers.com. That's freedomdentalfortmyers.com. Dr. Joseph Vanderbosch. Go to freedomdentalfortmyers.com.
News in flooded out areas of eastern Kentucky.
I mean, it happened so fast. I've cried a couple times.
Hundreds of people have had homes wash away or be inundated with rising water. At least 8 people have died, and there's a search for others.
We have people here that are unaccounted for, and that's the reason why. They were running up on homes that had been splintered apart and washed downstream, and so that's why they're still trying to get an accounting of everyone in this area.
Fox Weather's Will Nunley in Hazard, Kentucky. There's also been flooding from the St. Louis, Missouri area, where 2 people have died, to Virginia and West Virginia, and in Las Vegas. That's on the Las Vegas Strip. Heavy rain led to gushing water in a few casinos and parking garages. President Biden spent a few hours on the phone with China's leader amid tension over Taiwan, which China claims is its territory.
China is demanding House Speaker Nancy Pelosi cancel a potential trip to Taiwan, alleging it's a betrayal to the Chinese-U.S. foreign policy agreements. President Biden told the Chinese president that the U.S. policy on Taiwan has not changed. Now, on that call, President Xi warned President Biden that those who play with fire will perish by it.
Fox's Matt Finn. The president denies the U.S. economy is in recession. A classic definition of one was met when GDP showed economic contraction a second straight quarter, but the president says
significant banking personnel and economists say we're not in a recession.
Now, he and Republicans are sparring over a new Democrat spending plan that he claims will lower inflation. They say it'll make our economy worse. The bill would include new initiatives to fight climate change, something activists demand.
What do we want? Climate justice!
That was a protest last night outside a congressional baseball game in Washington. At least 3 demonstrators were arrested as Republicans shut Democrats out in the game 10-0. America's listening to Fox News.
Calling out political theft by the left. 92.5 WFSX Estero. Fox News. Right all along.
This Fox News update is presented by Freedom Dental of Fort Myers. Online at freedomdentalftmyers.com.
Wink News. Traffic.
In Lee County, there is a crash popping up Buckingham Road and Carl Ave. Proceed with caution. Also known nearby, just west of that crash, Alvin Road North and South, we're seeing just a little bit of congestion, that between Lee and Buckingham Road. We'll also tell you, expect a police presence this Highland Ave at Edison Ave. In fact, you may want to use Hanson or MLK East and West to just go around this. They are investigating a homicide. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. Belinda Post, Wink News.
Wink Weather Authority.
Another hazy and hot one for today as we continue to see a plume of Saharan dust move overhead. This will still be limiting our rain chance today, though we should at least see some isolated afternoon and evening thunderstorms, especially for those areas along and east of the I-75 corridor and closer to our coastal zones. Temperatures continue to warm into the middle 90s for today. Look for high close to about 95 degrees. We'll be off to another dry start for your Saturday with a low near 76 degrees. We climb back to 94 degrees for your Saturday afternoon. That Saharan dust exits for the weekend, but we still will be looking at lower than average rain chances with isolated afternoon thunderstorms as we head into Saturday and Sunday. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Casey Sherman.
Does 92.5 Fox News have a live stream? You bet. Go to rightallalong.net.
Hi, this is Lindsay Scott Garza. Growing up, my dad, retired Lee County Sheriff Mike Scott, instilled in me a passion for public service and a dedication to this community. He taught me how the justice system affects our community, which inspired me to go to law school and still motivates me as an attorney today. I'm running for county judge because I want to ensure our constitutional liberties are always protected and the rule of law is upheld. I will always be fair, impartial, and apply the law equally. I'm Lindsay Scott Garza. As a third-generation native who is raising my own family here in Lee County, my heart, soul, and future revolves around this community. As an attorney, I have spent countless hours in the courtroom. This experience has prepared me to take this next step and serve as a Lee County judge, where the Constitution will always be my guiding light. I'm Lindsay Scott Garza. I'm running for Lee County judge, and I would be honored to earn your vote so that I may continue to serve our community. Paid by Lindsay Scott Garza for Lee County Judge Group 4.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end.
The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Some things sound so good you can almost taste it. Like Bluebell Strawberry Lemonade Ice Cream. Delicious strawberry ice cream swirled with lemonade sherbet and sprinkled with lemon-flavored flakes. It's better than you can imagine.
The good old days are being made right now.
The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell Ice Cream at all Walmart Supercenters and Walmart Neighborhood Markets.
Looking for a reputable HVAC service provider? 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating of Naples provides a high level of service and value to our clients. To learn more, visit onehourairnaples.com or call 855-1-HOUR.
Chevy showroom, Marty.
Hey, Marty, you ready for adventure?
Not really.
Well, during Victory Lane Chevrolet's Summer Adventure Sale,
look, I got
you can drive a new Chevy and make no payments till fall.
Fall?
As in autumn.
Okay.
September.
I got it.
Or you can drive a new Equinox for $349 a month with no money down and no first payment.
No money?
Zip, zilch, zero dinero.
Look, I know what zero means, okay?
I'm sure you do. You're used to having zero customers in your showroom. Hello. During the Summer Adventure Sale at Victory Lane Chevrolet. Lease a new 2022 Chevy Equinox LS, only $349 a month with zero down and no first payment. Plus, bring us your trade and get an additional $1,000 off any in-stock vehicle. Victory Lane Chevrolet, on the corner of Fowler and Winkler. Find new roads online at victorylanechevrolet.com.
36-month lease, 0 down, 10K miles per year, must have current lease and household. Taxes and fees, extra rebates to dealer, no payments for 90 days, must finance with Kim Financial. Offers with approved credit, not all offers combined.
Searching everywhere for great prices on appliances? No, you're not, because you have better things to do. Besides, Good Deals has it for less, and they have plenty of items in stock despite shortages everywhere else. Remember, Good Deals guarantees the lowest price on everything they sell. Find a lower price anywhere, and Jay will beat it, guaranteed. Visit one of the showrooms in Fort Myers, Naples, and Cape Coral, or shop online at gooddealsappliances.com.
Good Deals Appliances. Have we got a deal for you?
Need a seawall or boat dock?
call 844-WB-BUILT. I'm Jimmy Williamson of WB Williamson Brothers. WB represents the fourth generation of a tradition that began with our grandfather in 1967, a tradition that made the Williamson name synonymous with seawalls and docks. 2022 building code mandates improved seawall design, and WB is ready. Our seawalls are constructed of 5,000 PSI concrete and with the same composite rebar used in bridge construction. This allows us to offer the industry's only lifetime seawall structural warranty. Our docks are built from true marine timbers, stainless fasteners, and the strongest deck board in the industry, Wear Deck. It's the last deck board you will ever need. And for a limited time, sign with WB for a new seawall, and we will include at no cost a 5-foot wide, 20-foot long dock. And we will begin construction within 90 days. That's right, a lifetime seawall warranty, a free 20-foot boat dock, and we will start within 90 days. WB Williamson Brothers, 844-WB-BUILT.
Thank you for waking us all up out here, for all you do.
Thank you for giving us the voice.
For being out there helping to keep the constitutional republic.
I want to thank you for
your support for veterans in the military.
Educating us.
Standing up for conservatism.
Giving us the truth.
Daybreak with Drew Steele.
All right. Good morning, everybody. 239-479-5592. That is the Brett AC Talk and Text line. We stream live. DrewSteele.com. That's the website. Steele has 3 E's. You can go there to watch the program. You can go to Rumble to watch the program. You can go to Facebook.com/Drew Steele Radio to watch the program. And we appreciate you doing that if you would like. Coming up this morning. All right, let's. I would love to hear from you this morning. Today's the kind of day. Look, it's been. Needless to say, it's been kind of a rough couple of weeks for me, and so today is just kind of one of those days where I'm kind of cruising into the weekend, and I have to be honest, and I'm always honest with you all. So this is the kind of day where I would love for you to call. You could talk about anything you want. I will encourage you to talk about some issues that I wanted to bring up earlier that I'll bring up now, and just because I'm ready for the weekend, I want to spend time with my family. You know, I have a limited amount of time to see them before they head back to New Jersey. So I'm in that family mode right now. So and I'm talking to Jake, like I haven't shut up basically since I got here, just talking to Jake, and I've just been talking, and I just need to not just talk to you and the way I have been, but love to hear from you as well. Again, 239-479-5592. And I'll talk about whatever you want. A couple of things we brought up earlier. The Milli Vanilli thing. Jake doesn't know what I'm talking about. I just gave away the whole thing. So we were talking about how the Biden administration blames it on everybody, and they're always blaming other people, and how Democrats are constantly blaming something that's going on in this country on you or whatever, but they never take the blame. And I said, so, whatever you do, don't put the blame on you, blame it on the rain. And then I mentioned that, and Jake has no idea of the history of the song Blame It on the Rain, or the group to which Blame It on the Rain came from, sort of, which is Milli Vanilli. Do you have any idea who Milli Vanilli is?
They're not Milli Vanilli.
Well, that's partially correct. What did you do? Did you during the break, did you read a little bit about them? Is that what you did?
No, I actually, I think it was a long time ago, a YouTube video came up, and it was it kind of gave me the rundown.
Well, it was like one of those behind the music kind of things, right?
Well, they were behind the scenes, that's for sure.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, it's a sad story. You got two guys who are told...
Couldn't speak English?
Right, from I think they were from Germany, right? Two guys who pretty much were picked up by the label because they didn't, the people that actually sang the songs, they didn't want them to be the front people. They wanted these guys to be the front people for the band, for Milli Vanilli. They fronted the band. They lip synced the whole thing. They got busted for lip syncing, and it completely destroyed the group. It destroyed them. It destroyed their careers. And it was depressing. One of them ultimately, I don't know how he passed away. I don't know how that happened, but it was just a weird time, the lip syncing thing. And the lip syncing thing was popular. A lot of people were doing it. You'd watch TV shows where there was constantly the award shows or whatever. You would watch the artists lip syncing instead of singing live. Go ahead.
The best fail lip singing, I think it was on one of those Jimmy shows, late nights, and it was a long time ago, but it was Britney Spears' sister. and she was on stage singing.
Right, and the vocals started before she started. No, it was Saturday Night Live, wasn't it?
It was
Yes,
SNL.
it was. That's what it was.
And what happened was they were playing the wrong lyrics.
Yeah, something happened.
was
The
like
song
the
was
wrong
different.
song.
Yeah, it was just a disaster. You can't do it, but you can blame it on the rain or blame it on everybody else. So that was our little Milli Vanilli segment. Then I asked a little earlier if there's anybody in law enforcement who wants to call 239-479-5592. Anybody in law enforcement who can explain how there was a late night joke from Jimmy Fallon about how there was somebody in the state of Florida, and of course it happens here, which is so depressing because it gives us such a bad name, that there was someone in Walmart who got arrested for DUI, drunk on an electric scooter, and crashed into like the wall there, or whatever items in the aisle that they were in Walmart, and they got arrested. Can you do that? How do you get arrested for DUI if you're inside a Walmart on a scooter? Like, is that real? Is that a thing? Like, I don't know how that works. So I opened up the phones and said, anybody in law enforcement who wants to call, that you don't have to use your name or whatever you don't want to, but so maybe we'll get the answer to that. I don't know how that works.
I want to know.
So we'll find out maybe about that. One of the other things that I mentioned earlier in the program, and if you want to call about this now, because maybe I'm missing something, and while we're waiting for the calls, I'll talk about some of the other breaking news and some of the things that have happened in the past 8 hours. There's a lot of it. Was that yesterday, as we were talking about Governor Ron DeSantis, and we were talking about the bar in Miami that was having this drag show that they constantly have. I guess they always have these drag shows, but they do a drag show brunch, something they popularized. I don't know what specifically the case, but the governor was calling them out because there were 3-year-olds, 5-year-olds, 8-year-olds that were in a bar, 3-year-olds, 5-year-olds, 8-year-olds in the bar while the drag show is going on with body parts that don't belong to the human being that they weren't born with, that were attached to these bodies to make them look as something that they weren't, as you can imagine, and fill in the blanks with pasties. And if you know anything about pasties, then let's just put it this way. It's not the kind of outfit that you would go to Walmart even drunk wearing, or maybe you would go drunk wearing it. There's probably been, but the idea is that to make the suggestion that they were, fully clothed, or they were wearing things that, look, I got a lot of emails yesterday after the program and people saying you don't want the government getting involved in this. The governor saying that we found a way through one of the bureaus there in Tallahassee that they could take away this bar's liquor license. And there were people that were upset about the idea that the government would come in because it's a slippery slope. And I just wonder what you think about that. 239-479-5592. Whether or not you want the government, this governor DeSantis, this administration, making those kind of moves. Because on the one side, you have people saying it's a slippery slope. Do you really want the governor doing this? Because if it was a different governor, what would be the next group that could be denied the ability to have a business, conduct business in the free market, that they would take your ability to do business away because of something that they believe, and they want to go after you. So it's that be careful what you wish for. And somebody texted about music in the past, or something that had to do with music. That there was a time when people didn't want certain songs on the radio, or trying to, okay.
I can think of a few I don't want on the radio right now.
Yeah. But I think the funny part about the slippery slope thing that people talk about, and maybe they laugh about it, or they joke about it, or they think that, when somebody says, somebody young is starting to drink, and then they drink, and then they do pot, and then after pot, they do cocaine, and after that, it just, and then people will laugh about that and think like, that doesn't happen. You sure about that? Are you really sure about that? Because is there a slippery slope? Because for some people, there is none. It's just like, I want to do what I want to do without any consequence, and that is their libertarian bent. And I don't get that sometimes. Because I guess ultimately what it comes down to is, where does morality sit with you? Where does morality sit with you? Do you, it's not like I'm more pious and better than anybody else. I strive to be a better person personally, but we're all fallen and we do the best that we can. We hope that we do. But I don't suppose, but then there are others that are like, I don't try. This world is all there is. And, maybe there's something afterwards, but for the time being, I'm having fun. I'm building up my wealth. I'm building up my stuff, lots of stuff, because, once you're gone, that stuff is, well, it's somebody's stuff. And there's no guarantees that the people that you leave that stuff for want that stuff. But you got your stuff. So I guess it becomes morality. Like, where is that place? We're talking about 3 or 5-year-olds or 8-year-olds. We're not talking about adults who are making adult decisions. We're not talking about an adult who is making the decision to do something to their body. We're not talking about an adult who's making the decision to go into a bar. That's all. So these questions to me, should be, I don't have anything on the call screen, by the way. Yeah, there's nothing there. I don't know what happened. There's nothing there. So just questions that maybe you want to help me answer, and maybe you disagree with me. I don't know. Just asking. 239-479-5592. So we open it up to you this morning. Yeah, I don't see anything there, but I see some calls. We'll get to them coming up in just a second. What was it? The Nats. Oh, all right. Hold on. We can go to the calls. Okay, good. Scott's in Naples. Hey, Scott.
Hey, thinking about lip syncing and some of the biggest lip syncing stuff. I don't know if you remember this. This may have been late 80s, early 90s or something. The Red Hot Chili Peppers went on to SNL. And as soon as the song started, in order to illustrate the lip syncing, they just abandoned their instruments and started running around the stage and climbing on the rafters and abandoned any semblance of playing and just went ballistic as the song continued.
So they did it specifically. They did it specifically to call out the lip syncing that was happening. Yeah, because you know that always happens, right? When somebody in the entertainment industry or music business, they get busted for doing something, there'll be the cool kids, so to speak, that will call out what it is that they've always been frustrated with, and then when they get discovered, they do what the Red Hot Chili Peppers, what you're saying is, it's like basically saying, look, we're a band, we play live, and now we're going to mock you for not doing what you should have been doing the whole time, because there's not a lot of artistry in lip syncing.
Yeah, because a lot of people were kind of forced to. Like you said, the Chili Peppers were a real band that played. They wouldn't do that live, but on a live show, they were forced to. So, hey, here we go. I don't know.
No,
I thought that
great
one
point.
was a great illustration.
Yep, great. Scott, thanks for the call. I appreciate it. All right, Kate. Kate wanted to weigh in on Miami and what was going on there with the bar. Hey.
Yes, I do want to weigh in on that. Honestly, I don't like the whole idea of the drag shows and all that, but when you have children at it, that's a whole different thing. And that is adult entertainment, and there should be able to, if there isn't a law regarding adult entertainment and children, there should be. And I think that's where you have to draw the line, because, sometimes, and I'm basically on the libertarian side of things, but you do have to protect your children.
Yeah, well, because there are people, and listen, Kate, there are people on the libertarian side that live and let live. If I'm not hurting you, it shouldn't be a problem. The free marketplace, it should be open for people to do whatever they want in that bar, and that kind of attitude. And, you don't want the government. Do you really want the government in on everything? And certainly you don't, because there is that slippery slope. But we also have to decide two things, and tell me if I'm wrong about this. Two things. Number one, you have to realize that you live in the world that exists, not in the world that you would like to have us exist in. And the world that we exist in is a world that says that there's one side that will take advantage of your goodness. There's one side that will take advantage of people who want to live and let live and use it against you. It's just a fact. Yes. Right, so we have to.
That's
so
true,
right.
And that's how we got where we are today.
Right, and then the other part of it is, which always to me is laughable, is the whole slippery slope thing. Do you believe in slippery slopes or not? Because if you look at the world we're in now, with an administration who doesn't want to tell you what a recession is, with a Supreme Court justice who now won't tell you what a woman is, where people will flip, up is down and good is bad, and there is no such thing as the truth or definitions, or it's somebody's truth as opposed to the truth, and all of these things. How do you think we got here? How do you think we got to the point where drag shows are happening with kids in schools and the reading time and all that? How do you think we got here? We got here because of the slippery slope. That's the definition of what it's been.
Yes, I agree with you. And I think that it's the relativism of the 60s. And basically, by nature, conservatives mind their own business. And unfortunately, that doesn't really work because this is why we have what we have.
Yeah.
So I just think that it's pretty easy to draw the line at kids.
Yeah.
And
that's again, it's the kids. It's not. We're not consulting adults. So it's about the kids and being brought into this. And
then after that, I think it goes down to their local city council or whatever they have over there in Miami that allows places to have businesses in certain areas or not have them or whatever they decide. But I think across the board, we can draw the line at our kids.
Yeah. Thanks for the call, Kate. I appreciate it. Yeah, and elections, there you go. If you want to do something, you want to elect people that don't care about that kind of thing, then that's what's going to end up happening. And if you want to elect people that will, and again, I understand the point of view that says that you don't want the government getting too involved in business, and you don't want them to step into these places because be careful what you wish for, and the libertarian, and when Kate says that conservatives kind of stay out of it, not necessarily. There's times when conservatives, maybe not even conservatives, but a Christian conservative perspective, when you look and you see what's happening and you are concerned about morality and how going against morality is how all dictatorships, regimes, horrific situations that have happened in the history of this world have used morality and God and faith as the tool to basically to destroy it, as the tool to get what they want. And so the destruction of morality in this country and the destruction of the idea that you can't, whatever, it's not that big a deal. It's just people who are just trying to express themselves and calm down. We're not going to have little kids. That kind of attitude is exactly what that side would want to destroy this country. Tell me where I'm wrong. Tell me where we have not had these positions in history, where that's exactly what dictators did. The state was your God. All right. Greg's in Naples. Hello, Greg.
Hi, good morning, Drew. First of all, you're spot on with your assessment of dictators and how they do things. I really appreciate that. But I'm going to change the subject here a little bit. On all these polls that I watch on news, on TV, radio, for the potential Democratic nominee, president nominee in 24, none of them have Michelle Obama. And all the talking heads, like Sean Hannity thinks right now the likely nominee is the governor of California, but none of them have a Michelle Obama. My question to you is, why is that? And do you think she would be a viable candidate and the hardest one to beat of the group that's on that board now?
All right. Well, I'll take the second part of that first, which is, she would be the hardest. That would be the one person that I don't know how you would be able to defeat. That's a tough one to me if Michelle Obama ran. But yes, but on the other side of that, number one, I don't think she wants it. I don't think they have anything to do with being in that position. I don't think she wants anything to do with it. Number one. Number two, there's a lot of hoops you got to jump through as well to make all of that happen. There would have to be the perfect storm. One of the perfect storms would have to be Hillary Clinton. It's not going to do it because I'm telling you right now, the storm known as Hillary is there. She's here and she's here to stay. And there's no doubt that if there's a crack, if there's a little peep, like a little tiny little hole that even the fingertip of a pinky of a little child couldn't stick in that dike. It's that tiny that even if there was just a little light coming through that wall, Hillary's jumping through that wall. So there's that. And then you've got the issue of the party itself, which is, do you really want to put someone like Michelle Obama out there when the party might very well have to back a Joe Biden because he ain't leaving. He's just not. And it makes the party look bad. And, that's what it's about with Democrats. It's about the look. It's about what the country believes. That's why we have what's going on with the recession, right, Greg? I mean, we have the definition of what a recession is. It's all optics. Everybody knows what's going on in the country. Everybody feels it. It's tangible. It's real. Even the administration knows it is. But somehow they're figuring out a way to try to twist it around to make it seem like it's something that it's not. Because those are the days that we live in. And so as long as they can do that.
Well, but, in terms of Obama, saying he's going to run, of course he's going to say he's going to run because he doesn't want to be a lame duck president.
You mean Biden?
And, and so the timing of that, there's no way this guy's going to run. They have to, it's like, what is it, Weekend at Bernie's or Ernie's or whatever. And so I think that's that. And then the other thought in my mind is that I believe that Obama's pulling the strings now, or at least has his hand on it. And this gives him a bigger grip of that, so to speak. And so those are the things that come to my mind. I find your comments on Hillary very interesting. Boy, she just doesn't want to give up. It's like Madonna performing at concerts. It's like, come on, you're past time here.
But you do realize that, and we've got to run, Greg, but you do realize that the reason why Madonna may or may not do a show is because people will still pay to see her. And as long as and it's the same thing with Hillary. There's still people that will pay to see her, so to speak.
Well, you're right. You're right. That's interesting. Well, thank you very much, Drew.
You might say I'm right all along. It's just to stay on brand. Yeah, thanks. 239-479-5592. It's Daybreak. Don't smirk at me. It's Friday. It's not the day. Actually, it is the day to smirk. All right, we'll get back to your calls coming up. It's Daybreak 92.5. Fox News, right all along.
Whether you're commuting to the office or driving to the beach, always stay to the right with 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
This is Jada Langford Fleming. I spent 20 years in the classroom as a teacher, but walked away when our school district stopped putting children first, stopped respecting teachers, and forced us to indoctrinate our students with their liberal agendas. I'm running for Lee County School District to change that. I'm running to bring the education of our children back to the forefront of the district's priorities. And I am determined to change the current culture and put parents and taxpayers back in charge of our schools. I'm Jada Langford Fleming. I'm a 7th-generation Floridian, and this community means everything to me. I grew up on many of your TV screens advertising my parents' local car dealership. Remember, y'all spoken here. Well, that was me. Now I'm a mom and a businesswoman who's fed up with our school board and ready to make a change. I'm Jada Langford Fleming, and I am running to bring common sense conservative leadership to our school board, and I'd be honored to have your vote. Paid by Jada Langford Fleming for Lee County School Board, District 6.
Hey folks, can I let you in on a little secret, a little something to talk about? Sean Henderson here, bringing news that Walker's Marine is under new ownership. That's right, Mr. Walker sold the dealership to us at OneWater in March of 21. Over the last year, we've worked diligently to make buying or servicing your boat in Southwest Florida headache-free. In fact, we've made so much progress that our partners at Pursuit Boats and the good folks at Yamaha Outboard paid for this ad to inform you of our improvements. The new Walker's Marine has doubled staff in all of our service locations from Cape Coral to Marco Island. If you're looking to upgrade the old boat and trade her in for something new or used, give us a call. Find us at walkersmarine.com, select your nearest location, and come see us. Tons of boats in stock. We've got new boats, used boats, brokerage boats, consignment boats, and even a banana boat. Actually, I might have to check our banana boat inventory. Seriously, folks, we are here and better prepared than ever to assist with all of your boating needs. And hey, we're always open at walkersmarine.com. Again, that's walkersmarine.com.
A breakdown in one of your home systems can occur suddenly. The trusted technicians at Unique Services are ready 7 days a week to offer quick and reliable attention to your heating, cooling, or plumbing system. If you call today, Unique will take $50 off any heating, cooling, or plumbing system repair. Get fast relief from the professionals at Unique Services. Call 941-500-9819 now. License number CMC 1250555, CFC 1429592, EC 1300-2942.
You need Unique.
Hello, folks. This is Representative Bob Rommel with another Florida update. This week, West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin caved to the pressure and agreed to the Democrats' massive spending bill. The Federal Reserve is rapidly raising interest rates to cool off inflation. But now Congress is going to spend hundreds of billions of dollars more, causing inflation to go even higher. This is complete nonsense. We the people know the biggest threat to American security is our national debt. Our senators and our president either don't get it, or it may be time to question their loyalty to America. Thankfully, we have a great governor, and we conservatives in the legislature will continue to do everything in our power to protect Florida, holding the line on state government spending and never having a state income tax. In November, you must vote. America's counting on you. This was paid by me, Bob Rommel, Republican for State Representative.
Did you know that Genesis is the only automotive brand with an IIHS Top Safety Pick Award for every vehicle it makes? Yes, it's true. Hi, I'm Sheila Zellers, owner of Genesis of Naples. We're the #1 selling Genesis dealer in the nation, and I invite you to come see our tremendous selection of new Genesis sedans and SUVs. Test drive Motor Trend's 2022 SUV of the Year, the all-new Genesis GV70, or the elegant new Genesis GV80. Both featuring superior performance, head-turning design, posh interiors, and the latest technology you're looking for. Plus, the all-new 2023 Genesis G90 sedan is getting a dramatic redesign. Go online and see for yourself. Safety, style, customer satisfaction, and selection, you get it all at Genesis of Naples, your first choice for luxury. Visit us on Airport Road or online at genesisofnaples.com.
Based on 2021 retail sales, visit IIHS.org for more information.
I'm Stuart Duncan from Duncan's Diamonds, and I want to be sure you're given the best prices on fine jewelry and diamonds. Other jewelers don't like me. Why? Because we offer better prices and a superior experience. If you go to Tiffany's, you're going to get a great product, but pay 2 to 3 times what it's really worth. If you go to a chain store, you're going to get something that's really cheap and bad quality. Don't settle for high prices, low quality, and a bad experience. Buy real jewelry from me, Stuart Duncan, a real jeweler. The love of your life will really be proud to know that their diamond came from Duncan's Diamonds. Your true love deserves the best. And at Duncan's Diamonds, we will not be undersold by anyone, anytime, anywhere, and I will make sure that you can count on it. Duncan's Diamonds. It's worth the drive for the best prices on diamonds and fine jewelry.
4 great locations. US 41, Gulf Coast Town Center, Naples at Mercado, and Port Charlotte Town Center.
This break is sponsored by Cornerstone Builders. Give us the opportunity to wow you.
Wink News, traffic.
If you're waking up in Estero southbound on 41 at Estero Parkway, you're moving a little bit slow before you pick back up on Tamiami Trail to normal speeds. We'll also tell you, if you see some police officers investigating in Fort Myers near Highland Ave, proceed with caution. They are investigating a homicide, and we'll tell you, you may see some of those officers on Highland Ave from MLK to Canal Street. Again, give them room to work. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. Belinda Post, Wink News.
Wink Weather Authority.
Another hazy and hot one for today as we continue to see a plume of Saharan dust move overhead. This will still be limiting our rain chance today, though we should at least see some isolated afternoon and evening thunderstorms, especially for those areas along and east of the I-75 corridor and closer to our coastal zones. Temperatures continue to warm into middle 90s for today. Look for high close to about 95 degrees. We'll be off to another dry start for your Saturday with a low near 76 degrees. We climb back to 94 degrees for your Saturday afternoon. That Saharan dust exits for the weekend, but we still will be looking at lower than average rain chances with isolated afternoon thunderstorms as we head into Saturday and Sunday. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Casey Sherman.
There's a reason they call tasteless, stale food leftovers. Feed your brain the right way. 92.5 Fox News. Right. All along.
Imagine replacing your old kitchen with the kitchen of your dreams. Brand new custom-made cabinet doors. Drawer fronts, hand-finished by true craftsmen. Designer hardware, new hinges, and everything installed beautifully in less than a week, start to finish. Expensive? No. To the contrary, with refacing by Cornerstone, you'll save so much, we should really talk about your master bathroom too. Go for wow. Go for Cornerstone.
Swinging a drive, Greenwell hits a long drive to right field. That ball is gone. Home run, Mike Greenwell.
This is Mike Greenwell. I grew up here in Lee County. From swimming in the Caloosahatchee River to playing baseball at North Fort Myers High School, this has and always will be my home. I was blessed to play Major League Baseball for the Boston Red Sox. But when my career ended, there was only one place I wanted to raise my family and build my business, right here in Lee County. You may have known me as a baseball player hitting home runs for the Red Sox, but I'm also a conservative and a businessman. Now I'm running for the Lee County Commission. This is Mike Greenwell. I'm running so I can fight for lower taxes, less government regulations, and to make sure Lee County remains the best place to live, work, and play.
Greenwell swings. This ball is well hit to right field, and that ball is out of here. Another home run for Mike Greenwell.
This is Mike Greenwell, and I'm ready to hit a home run for Lee County. Paid by Mike Greenwell, Republican, for Lee County Commissioner, District 5.
Chevy showroom, Marty.
Hey, Marty, you ready for adventure?
Not really.
Well, during Victory Lane Chevrolet's summer adventure sale,
look, you
can drive a new Chevy and make no payments till fall.
Fall?
As in autumn.
Okay.
September.
I got it.
Or you can drive a new Equinox for $349 a month with no money down and no first payment.
No money?
Zip, zilch, zero dinero.
Look, I know what zero means, okay?
I'm sure you do. You're used to having zero customers in your showroom. Hello. During the summer adventure sale at Victory Lane Chevrolet, lease a new 2022 Chevy Equinox LS, only $349 a month with zero down and no first payment. Plus, bring us your trade and get an additional $1,000 off any in-stock vehicle. Victory Lane Chevrolet, on the corner of Fowler and Winkler. Find new roads online at victorylanechevrolet.com. 36-month lease, 0 down, 10K miles per year. Must have current lease and household. Taxes and fees extra. Rebates to the dealer. No payments for 90 days. Must finance with Jim Financial. Offers with approved credit. Not all offers combined.
The weather is hot and the afternoon storms are like clockwork, which means we're well into storm season. Does your current insurance coverage provide the protection you need in the event of severe weather? Hi, this is Brian Chapman at Chapman Insurance Group. When it comes to protecting your loved ones and property, consider CIG. We can help evaluate your current coverage and cost. Give my team an opportunity to quote your home, auto, business, or flood policy. At Chapman Insurance Group, we can save you money for the same or better coverage in Southwest Florida. Visit a location near you or online at CIGFlorida.com today.
For professional roofing, the name you need to know is D.R. Martineau.
Hi, Dan Martineau. When it rains in Florida, it really pours. Home without gutters can cause soil, landscape erosion, and potential foundation damage. D.R. Martineau will install new 6 or 7-inch seamless gutters and downspouts. Just Google DRM Roofing.
License number CCC 1326954.
For professional roofing, the name you need to know is D.R. Martineau.
Have lunch with Clay and Buck at noon, right after Glenn Beck at 9. 92.5 Fox News. Right. All along.
All right, we're going to get back to your calls. 239-479-5592. Al and Dan in Naples. Dave, we got your calls lined up. We'll get to you. Anybody else who wants to call, 239-479-5592 is the Brett AC talking text line. I just would love to take calls today all morning. I mean, I'm ready for the weekend. I'm ready. I'm just ready for time with the family over the weekend. Let's see. Time to go to the ball game. There were some people showing up at the ball game yesterday, the 87th annual congressional baseball game at National Stadium yesterday. Yeah. Okay. Shut him up. Shut him up. Okay. Yeah. That was the climate activists who were there at the gates.
That was my question.
Yeah. Climate activists. So they were there and they said, what do we want? Climate change. What do we want now? Or whatever it is. You know, wait, they didn't want climate change. They want something. I don't know what they were saying. Does it really matter? The climate change activists there. So they show up and disrupt because, that's what happens. And it's a good thing that the Inflation Reduction Act doesn't have anything to do with climate in it. I mean, they wouldn't be talking about
the Inflation Reduction Act is progress, and we welcome it, and the president wants to sign it. Again, it is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. It's a game changer. It's historical. He's not going to stop taking action on climate.
Great. He's not going to be stopping. He's going to take action on climate. So, as I've told you a billion times before, just let it be known that Democrats are never, ever, 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 ever going to give up. They're never going to give up. They're going to lose the battles. They're going to win the war. They're just going to keep coming and coming and coming and coming. And all you can do is push back. Not be more like them. Not be more like them. But be less like them. Like, I would like to believe that the majority of the country stands with conservative values, that stands with values of good virtue and morality, than they do with what the left has to offer. That leads us to Democrat Representative Linda Sanchez, who was there at the charity game, the congressional baseball game, where the Republicans dominated 10-0. Here's a moment that you don't want to miss. Check this out.
To lead off the inning, we'll get a pinch runner down there.
I got a pitch runner down there for Democrat Representative Linda Sanchez of California. She needs a... Well, I'm not going to say anything about it. Okay, anyway, she gets a little base hit, and she's there on first base, and they're going to have a pinch hitter for her. And here she comes off the field.
We'll get an eye on who the pinch runner is going to be. It looks like it's going to be Jeffries.
She's running. She's passing by the Republican bench.
Nice ovation.
Well,
not much reaction from the Republican side.
And she just flipped off the bench. That's right. There's the Democrat Representative Linda Sanchez, who flipped off the Republican dugout as she ran by them. A little bit of the bird. A little bird there for you. A little birdie flew on the field and was pointed directly at the Republican dugout, which is, that's status quo for Democrats. There you go. It's that's what we do. It's, hey, listen, we give you the bird, we flip you off. It's like, that's life. It's like a recession. Let me show you this finger. Hey, the things that are going up, paying gas, or the gas prices, let me show you this one. Okay, that's what they do. Classy.
I want to know what she said. She said that was a real something. You can barely hear it. I'll figure it out.
No, it doesn't matter. That's all you need to know is.
But 10-0, huh?
Yeah.
10-0.
Classy. A couple of other things. We got 3 women who were charged for destroying a New York City restaurant because of the extra $1.75 dipping sauce cost. So there's that, because that's what you do. And in leftist cities where you know that police presence is really, really tiny. And as a matter of fact, you want to constantly talk about defunding police departments until people push back. And it's like, oh, no, we want to fund them. No, you don't. You never did. You have all of these ideas of what you want to do to the police departments. And the society at large is like, no, we don't want you to do what you're doing. So then you have people like women who show up at restaurants who are destroying the restaurants, and ultimately it's over $1.75 dipping sauce. Why would you do that? Because you feel like you can get away with it. And most liberal cities you can.
Does it specify which sauce?
It didn't say. I don't know I don't really want to go into the details of that story. I'm just going to leave that out there and just let it kind of flutter on its own. Some other stories I'm watching. Hey, look at this. Did the Biden administration reverse course, and now they're going to fill gaps in certain areas of former President Trump's border wall on the U.S. southern border because of the illegal immigration crisis happening? Look at that. Oh, it must be election time, everybody. That's what it is. We don't want to tell you that we're going to do it. We don't want to have you see anything that would have to do with trying to secure areas of our border because you honestly do know what's going on. No. We want to do that kind of stuff in private to have you lefties out there believe that we're on your side. And open borders, let them in, no problem. There's another big story on that coming up in just a little bit. The D.C. mayor who's like, yeah, I got to call in the National Guard because we got a flood of illegal immigrants in my sanctuary city. Yeah, that's a real story. All right, here's Al in Naples. Hello, Al.
Hey, good morning, Drew. How are you?
You know, I'm okay.
I love listening to your show, and I just wanted to chime in on the situation down in that adult club in Miami.
Yes, and for those that don't know, we're talking about the club in Miami. They do the drag show, 3-year-old, 5-year-olds, 8-year-olds there in the club, and you've got men who don't look like men, they look like women because they've been, let's just say, enhanced by a process that's not natural. And there they are with pasties and stuff, and everything seems to be fine for some people who believe that this is okay to do. I mean, it's a business. You want to keep the business doing what they do because it's a business, and you want to stay out of their business, where the governor is like, yeah, we don't want to stay out of this business, and as a matter of fact, we might take away your liquor license because of what you're doing, because kids in bars, I'm not really sure. And the drag show thing, go ahead.
Well, I'm definitely against what's going on there, but even though I'm Republican and conservative, I don't think the governor needs to get involved. I don't think government needs to be involved in private business, but it could easily be stopped, I would think. If it's common knowledge all that stuff is going on, why doesn't local government like DCF, Department of Children and Families, get involved and just put their, end it?
Well, I think, number one, the local government doesn't want to end it. I think they're fine with it. They've been doing it for a long time, and who knows how long this has been going on. And maybe just now, recently, there are people who are showing up who are seeing this and are calling it out. Maybe before they weren't saying anything. There are parents that are bringing these kids. I mean, these kids aren't showing up. They're not pulling up in some kind of golf cart or some kind of electric vehicle because they're lefties, and they show up there and they're coming in on their own 3 and 5 year olds. They're being brought there, and clearly the parents think that this isn't a big deal. And look,
they're okay with it.
And listen, and that's the big part of this. Let's cut through all the mush and get right down to the to whatever is laying on the bottom of this mush. And it's this. Let's just be honest, okay? You've got a choice right now. This is all about morality in this country and how it is being picked apart, pulled apart, and destroyed in a lot of ways. And there is a group of individuals right now, and I don't know if it's a majority of voices. I don't know if it's a minority of voices with the loudest megaphones. But there are people who are looking at this and saying this is not a big deal. These kids are not going to be sexualized. These kids are not going to change their brains. Nothing's going to happen to their brains. Nothing's going to happen to them. They don't understand what they're seeing and what they're doing. So it's not that big a deal. It's kind of like music. It's like if somebody is listening, if an adult is with a 3-year-old and they're listening to rap music and the rap music has some really objectionable, offensive lyrics, does the 3-year-old really know what the lyrics are? Do they really understand it? All they know is the beat. They don't know the words and the language and the lyrics and everything else. They don't hear that. They don't understand it because they're 3-year-olds, right? They're 5-year-olds. They don't get. So what are you doing? What are you talking about? Why are you worried about this? You're worried. Well, and this is the one side. Then there's the other side that's like, morally, it's reprehensible. It's wrong. You shouldn't be doing it. Do you not see why? And if you don't see why, then the chasm is not about politics. The chasm is about virtues and morals. That's what it is. And do you want a virtuous, moral society or, it doesn't matter. That's really, and that's the tough question. Listen, Al, thanks for the call. I appreciate it. That's really the tough part of all of this. If you really want to get down to the meat, that's where we are. What do you care about? That's what, right? Isn't that, am I missing something, Jake? Right? I mean, that's what it is. I don't know what side you're on as you're listening to me and hearing this, but that's what it comes down to. And again, I brought this up before, the drinking could lead to smoking pot, and smoking pot could lead to cocaine use, and cocaine use can lead to whatever kind of use. And people smirk and they laugh and they joke and they say, that's so ridiculous. Is it? Is it? The slippery slope idea. That's ridiculous. There is no slippery slope. Do you realize what world we live in right now? Do you understand that the reason why? I mean, this seems to be pretty clear. I mean, to me, maybe I'm wrong. And this is where I want you to call me and tell me I'm wrong. And I'm okay with that. Because we should talk about this and debate this. But do you not understand that the reason why we're in the position we are as a country right now is because of the slippery slope? Because of the things that are allowed to happen without pushing back? Because of how we have allowed too long for the education system in this country, whether it is on a public school level or a college level, to do the things that they have been doing with no kind of pushback whatsoever? That morality and where we stand right now in this country, that the reason why we're in this place is because of the lack of pushback against what the culture has said you have to do, and how there are even some Republicans that are like, yeah, we need to be more like the culture because we have to be more like the cool kids. No, we don't. No, we don't. We need to be more about presenting to people and kids what is the better choice between conservative values and leftist values. That's what we need to do. We don't have to hip it up. Some people think we should hip it up. What does that mean? What does that look like? Either you want what you're offering or you don't. That's what should stand. Is the cool part about being a conservative is how it works in your life and how good it is for you and your future and how it's not destructive. And that should be cool enough. You don't have to, hip it up with language and culture, because the culture is destructive. Who's looking at the culture right now and thinking to themselves, we need to be more like the culture, because if we're more like the culture, because the culture is the right place to be, is a good place to be. The culture is horrific. It's destructive. It's terrible. Right? Does that make sense, Jake? Do you see what I'm saying? Nobody's looking at the culture and saying, yeah, this is definitely, we need to be more into and in the culture. We need to be more like the culture. Well, I mean, there are people that are doing that, and most of them are on the left. But I mean, if you're a conservative, you're not looking and saying, we need to be more like that. Because that'll bring more people into our tent, quote unquote. Why would they want to leave where they are to come to yours? It should be about the values that you espouse and conservatism as a whole. That should be drawing them in, and you should be making the case like that. And I guess there's some people that are saying the way to get through those heads is you have to be more like the culture. Yeah. That's a tough one for me. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be. All right. Should we go to Drew's College? Should we do that? Okay. We'll get to some calls coming up if you want to call on this after the 8 o'clock hour. But let's do Drew's College of Political Knowledge. And again, this is just me talking. This is me personally. You could say I'm crazy and I'm wrong and I'm an idiot or anything you want to call me. But please tell me over the phone, 239-479-5592. I'd like to hear, your thoughts on this and explain to me where I'm wrong, because I'm just trying to maneuver through all of this. All right, Drew's College of Political Knowledge, 4 questions on politics. The more you get right, the higher the degree. We'll see if you earn a PhD. America's favorite radio segment is coming up next, right now, as a matter of fact. The 9th caller will play. You'll have some fun with us, and you'll win a $35 certificate to Alda's Diner at the corner of 951 and Vanderbilt Beach Road in Naples. Let's do that right now. Drew's College next on Daybreak 92.5. Fox News, right all along.
Liberals suck. That's why we have Clay and Buck. Clay Travis and Buck Sexton. Today, noon to 3 on 92.5 Fox News. Right,
Hi,
all along.
I'm Lori, Ford O'Connell's mom.
And I'm Sarah, Ford's wife. We're big believers in family and freedom. You may have seen Ford on Fox News fighting for conservatives. Well, let me tell you personally, no one will fight for you like Ford. I'm proud to call him my husband.
Hi, it's Ford. I'd be nowhere without my family. They've got my back, and I'll have yours as your next state representative, alongside our great governor. Vote Ford O'Connell on August 23rd. Paid for by Ford O'Connell, Republican for state representative.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Jason and Todd want to meet and share with you personally the largest selection of GIA loose certified diamonds at the most competitive prices in the world.
At the Diamond District.
You know what a garage door is for, right? To keep some stuff out of your garage? Leaves, water, what is this, dead bugs? If this door doesn't close all the way, it's a mess in here. The wind, the rain. You know that's why we moved out of caves, right? We invented doors. Caveman's wife said, hey, Grog, honey, I can't take it. With the leaves and the water and the dead bugs in here, could you please stop working on that stupid wheel and invent the door? Ugh. At Mo Better Garage, we make that way mo better. A simple tune-up with some track and roller maintenance gets your garage door closing all the way down every time. A new rubber seal at the bottom, and your car has a clean, dry, dead bug-free place to spend the night. I don't believe I have to actually explain why this makes sense, but I will, because I'm Mo. Call Mo Better Garage, and we'll come over and make it right. Just think of all the sweeping you won't have to do.
Mo Better Garage, we make it way more better.
MoBetterGarage.com.
Hey, Southwest Florida, Jimmy the Beef Guy here. Man, I can't thank you enough. Our grand opening was beyond expectations. For yous that haven't tried us yet, you gotta get in here and try my favorite 5 Chicago-style sandwiches. I got the Italian beef, I got the Italian sausage, the sausage and beef, the Maxwell Street Polish, and our soon-to-be famous breaded steak. So come see me at the corner of 41 and Bonita Beach Road, right behind Duncan. And guys, when you're at the counter, don't call it gardenia. It's pronounced jardiniere.
92.5 Fox News.
Drew's College of Political Knowledge is presented by France Eye Care. Better vision, better life.
It's Drew's College.
All right, let's go to Marianne. Marianne's in beautiful Golden Gate. There she is.
Hello, Drew.
Hello. It's Drew's College of Political Knowledge. 4 questions on politics. The more you get right, the higher the degree. We'll see if you earn a PhD or associate's degree question. Starts right now. Hey, Marianne, who was the vice president of the United States in 2003?
2003. Oh, I was afraid you were going to ask me one of these questions.
Yeah.
2003.
Yep.
That would have been Al Gore?
No, that was Dick Cheney. That's okay. Well, let's see if you can answer this question. Can you give me two rights or freedoms from the First Amendment? Give me two of them.
Freedom of speech, freedom of assembly.
Okay, those are good. All right, that is correct. You got a bachelor's and master's degree on this question. In 1804, this expedition, two of them, set out from St. Louis. They were on an expedition to go explore the West. Who were they, these two?
It was Lewis and Clark.
That is correct. All right, you got a master's. We'll see if you get a PhD on this question. Let's see. Yeah, let's just do this. Multiple choice. The Supreme Court ruled unanimously for school integration in Brown versus Board of Education. When did that happen? What year was that? Was that 1934, 1954, or 1974?
I'm sorry, you're breaking up. Can you say them again?
I said...
I just need the years.
Okay, 1934, 1954, 1974.
Oh, it's 1954.
That is correct. All right, I think you got a master's degree today on Drew's College. So how do you feel about that?
I feel good.
Okay, you should. And you got a $35 gift certificate to Alda's Restaurant and Bar, otherwise known as Alda's Diner. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Great people, fantastic food. Corner of 951 and Vanderbilt Beach Road in Naples. Can you stay right there?
I can.
You're going to have to. You have no choice because I just put you on hold. All right, coming up, we can have more conversation. Maybe we should have more conversations about slippery slopes. The slippery slope. There's so many things in the news right now that have to do with the slippery slope. So maybe we'll take your calls on that and talk about it more coming up.
92.5 Fox News. Right. All along.
Hi, I'm Kathy Stout. I'm running for Lee County School Board District 1. I'm a parent, not a politician, a businesswoman, not a lawyer. My priorities? Kids first with safe schools, higher academic achievement, and a curriculum focused on education of excellence. As a community role model to children and parents, I do believe we can go beyond the classroom as partners in our children's hopes and dreams. On August 23rd, vote Kathy Stout for Lee County School Board District 1. I'm Kathy Stout, and I approve this message.
When there's nothing left that makes any sense. 92.5 WFSX Estero. Fox News. Right. All along. It's all right here at 92.5 Fox News. We've been right all along.
Brittany Griner's supporters might like hearing this. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Russia's foreign minister said today he's open to talks with the U.S. on a possible prisoner swap to free the American basketball star.
The Biden administration had proposed a deal with Russia that could bring Griner home, along with Paul Whelan, another jailed American who was sentenced to 16 years in a Russian prison on espionage charges in 2020.
That's Fox's Tanya J. Powers. There's talk of a possible swap with Victor Bout, who was a convicted Russian weapons dealer. An appeals court in Ukraine has reduced the sentence of a Russian soldier convicted in the first war crimes trial from life to 15 years because he confessed to killing a Ukrainian civilian shortly after Russia's invasion began, and he also showed remorse and was following orders. People remain unaccounted for in flooded areas of Kentucky. At least 8 others have died.
Worst, most devastating flooding events in Kentucky's history.
Governor Andy Beshear, hundreds have been forced from flooded houses. Some watched them float away.
This morning, we're keeping an eye on Jackson, Kentucky. That's because just upstream from them, there is a dam that has been compromised a little bit and it could possibly break through, and that puts about 100 additional homes, a school, and a hospital at risk.
Fox Weather's Will Nunley in Hazard. There's also been deadly flooding around St. Louis, Missouri, and heavy rain also flooded parts of the Las Vegas Strip with water pouring into a few casinos. Another bus of migrants who came to the U.S. illegally arrived in Washington this morning from Texas. Republican Governor Greg Abbott, angry over a border surge he blames on Biden policies, has sent thousands of migrants to D.C. Washington Mayor Muriel Bowser is requesting help from the National Guard.
As long as we need the Guard to deal with the humanitarian crisis that we expect to escalate.
A mega jackpot is worth even more millions tonight. It's risen to $1.1 billion, third largest U.S. lottery prize ever. America's listening to Fox News.
What's for dinner?
Presented by New South Window Solutions. Find them online at newsouthwindow.com.
Wink News, traffic.
We are seeing that San Carlos Park slow down on 75. It starts just north of Alico and continues until Florida Gulf Coast University. Then in Estero, just past Corkscrew, we see another slowdown. It's going to run from that point until Imperial Parkway. Go ahead and plan for an extra 5 minutes if you pass by either of these areas. We will tell you that things are looking slow in the downtown area, eastbound on 2nd Street near both areas of the Edison Bridge, and westbound on 1st Street. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. Belinda Post, Wink News.
Wink Weather Authority.
Another hazy and hot one for today as we continue to see a plume of Saharan dust move overhead. This will still be limiting our rain chance today, though we should at least see some isolated afternoon and evening thunderstorms, especially for those areas along and east of the I-75 corridor and closer to our coastal zones. Temperatures continue to warm into the middle 90s for today. Look for high close to about 95 degrees. We'll be off to another dry start for your Saturday with a low near 76 degrees. We climb back to 94 degrees for your Saturday afternoon. That Saharan dust exits for the weekend, but we still will be looking at lower than average rain chances with isolated afternoon thunderstorms as we head into Saturday and Sunday. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Casey Sherman.
Bugged by the left? Log on to rightallalong.net, the place to find 92.5 Fox News online.
Hi, this is Earl Ron, president of New South Window, and we would like to manufacture and install your windows. Only New South offers true factory direct windows to you. Only New South has award-winning windows that are made and designed specifically for our Florida weather. Every single New South window is custom manufactured just for your home. These are high-performance, energy-efficient windows, and now you can buy 2 windows and get the third absolutely free. Visit us at newsouthwindow.com or call for your factory direct pricing.
Call now, 1-800-NEW-WINDOWS.
How do you beat the heat in Florida? With a cool new ride that's certified. Hurry to your #1 certified pre-owned dealers, Sutherland Nissan Fort Myers and Sutherland Nissan Cape Coral. During the Drive Certified Sales Event, you get huge discounts on our huge inventory. Over 200 new vehicles in stock with more and more on the way. Reserve yours now. And to make it easy to drive a nicer, newer vehicle, get up to $8,000 over book value for your trade. So if your old car is worth only $2,000, you get $10,000. If it's worth $10,000, you get $18,000. Click SutherlandNissanBuysIt.com to see how much you'll get. All Sutherland certified vehicles cost thousands less than new and come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Get up to $8,000 more for your trade. Save thousands paying less. Save hundreds in repairs. That's how you beat the heat. All offers end Monday. Rush to Sutherland Nissan Fort Myers and Sutherland Nissan Cape Coral now. Your used car megastore online at FLNissan.com. If you don't shop Sutherland, you'll pay too much.
See dealer for details.
You'd think an Army veteran with a military career including multiple combat deployments throughout the Middle East would be a great American. And you'd be right. But Joe Vanderbosch also happens to be a great dentist. An Army veteran of 8 years, Dr. Joe now makes his home in Southwest Florida, where his wife Sarah grew up.
Hi, I'm Dr. Joseph Vanderbosch, Freedom Dental on Metro Parkway in Fort Myers. In the Army, I received extra training in order to provide dental care in virtually any condition. That's why I can manage many dental treatments without the need to refer to a specialist. I served my country proudly for 8 years. Now I want to serve you in your dental needs. Special discounts for former and active military without dental insurance.
Dr. Vanderbosch provides emergency care and is now accepting new patients for cleaning, extractions, crowns, implants, and more. Find them online at freedomdentalfortmyers.com. That's freedomdentalfortmyers.com. Dr. Joseph Vanderbosch. Go to freedomdentalfortmyers.com.
Hey guys, it's Robbie Raw. You've heard how much I love my art supports from the Good Feet store. Now I want you to hear from someone else.
Hi, I'm Dr. Julie Caton. I decided to get my own art supports, and I absolutely love them.
Visit the Good Feet store and take back your life.
In order for small businesses to thrive, they need to be smart, efficient, agile, staying ahead of the market at every turn, and finding ways to do more with less. That's never been more important than it is right now. So for a limited time, Comcast Business is introducing Small Business Savings, a deal for companies across the country. When you call in now, you can get powerful internet for just $39 a month for 12 months. $39 a month. With no annual contract and a money-back guarantee. All on the largest, fastest, reliable network for small businesses. With the company that powers more businesses than anyone else. So if you're a small business owner, don't wait. Call and get started today. Comcast Business. Powering possibilities.
For a limited time, ask how to get a $500 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle. Ends 9/21/22. Requires EcoBill and AutoPay. Restrictions apply. New business 50 megabits per second customers only. Equipment taxes and other charges extra and subject to change. After promo, regular rates apply.
Rock Solid is giving away free countertops where you only pay for labor.
Wow, did you hear that? Free countertops. We just pay for labor. With those savings, I could get new golf clubs.
Relax, Tiger. First, we need a new dishwasher for our new home.
That's right. Rock Solid is giving new home and business owners free countertop materials. You only pay for labor.
But I really need
a new dishwasher, honey, for our new home.
Call Rock Solid at 239-596-7676 or come into Rock Solid in Naples and Port Charlotte. Free countertops. See store for details.
Thank you for waking us all up out here, for all you do. And
thank you for giving us the voice.
For being out there helping to keep the constitutional republic.
I want to thank you for
your support for veterans in the military.
Educating us.
Standing up for conservatism.
Giving us the truth.
Daybreak with Drew Steele.
The slippery slope. The slippery slope. You know what? We really do have to have an open and transparent conversation about exactly what is going on in this country. And it's fair to say that there is a lot to be said about government intervention, limited government, big government, how much governments have a part in our lives, and especially with this issue of the drag queens and the shows and the little kids and the bars and what the governor talked about. This is a kind of conversation, and this could go to a lot of different things. And so I would love to hear it from you, especially for those people who really do object to the idea that we would be backing the governor of the state of Florida for suggesting that we might take away the liquor license of a bar in Miami that does brunch drag shows and allows 3, 5, and 8-year-old kids to be there at that time. And I'm going to make the case and some of the conversation and the text line that is blowing up, if you will, 239-479-5592. And the phone calls that are coming in as well on your thoughts with this issue. And I think we have to stop messing around with like nibbling around the edges. Just say what it is and talk about what's going on. And that's what I'm about to do. So we're just going to get to it in just a second. Looking forward to your calls. A couple of things I wanted to mention first. Next week on Wednesday, we leave Wednesday, but Thursday and Friday, we will be broadcasting live from CPAC in Dallas. Looking forward to it. A lot of great guests lined up as usual. Looking forward to it. And couldn't happen without great sponsors like Floormeisters. Love Floormeisters. All Phase Electric Service. They're great. Freedom Dental in Fort Myers doing a great job. And Tyler McCluskey's RocketHealth.com. Do appreciate them for helping us get to CPAC in Dallas. Thank you to our sponsors and the fantastic businesses. Again, Floormeisters, All Phase Electric Service, Freedom Dental Fort Myers, and Tyler McCluskey's RocketHealth.com. So yes, we'll be there with CPAC. Mike Opelka will be along with us. Looking forward to that. And he'll be joining us at 8:35 as well. Okay. A couple of other things I wanted to mention before we get to your calls and some of the topic about slippery slopes. I think it's pretty interesting that there's some complaining going on with the D.C. mayor who's requesting the National Guard activate because of the flood of illegal immigrants in the city. Oh, isn't that interesting? You got a sanctuary city and you have Texas and Arizona that's like, listen, you don't understand. They're all coming across illegally across the border. How about you take them into these cities? We're going to bust them up to D.C. And that's exactly what's been happening. And thousands of people have been there in D.C. And now the mayor of the city of D.C. is like, we can't have this. This is not good. It's
work across state lines to prevent people from really being tricked into getting on buses. We think they're largely asylum seekers who are going to final destinations that are not Washington, D.C.
Yeah. So and then they're flooding all of the homeless shelters, and they're showing up here, and they're just asylum seekers. I mean, what's the problem here? Why are you sending them here? Well, because you're a sanctuary city, and you would like to have them, wouldn't you? Right? Yeah, so there you go. So Mayor Bowser now requesting that the defense secretary and the president activate the National Guard because they're showing up in her city, and so far nothing. So there you go, a little bit of that. All right, 239-479-5592. Let's get to let's see. Johnny's in Fort Myers, wanted to have a conversation about slippery slopes. Hi, Johnny.
Good morning, Drew.
Good morning.
We're pretty far down that slippery slope. When I think it started is when they started allowing feminine hygiene and erectile dysfunction ads on TV.
Okay, I think maybe it started before that, but I think that just kind of joined into the fray there of, all right, well, yeah, there are a lot of those. Well, yeah.
Maybe it started when they let Ozzy and Harriet get in the same bed.
Yeah, there was a time when you couldn't watch a show on TV where, right, wasn't it I Love Lucy? Lucy and Ricky, they were in separate. Every time you see the bedroom, they were in single beds. They had like the table that divided them. They weren't in the same bed, and then it was just like, this isn't really reality. Yep. And yeah, I know it's a.
And now there's soft porn everywhere.
Well, kind of, sort of. All right, Johnny, thanks. Yeah, but there's that pendulum swing. There are people that argue that in the 80s and 90s there was the right and the Christian right and how hard they went against music and rap music, and they wanted to take away all of this music. And you see, and then the pendulum swung, and now we are completely on the other side, which brings up again the slippery slope and big government or limited government. I got a lot of people texting me and upset. Two things that I wanted to read to you, and then we're going to get to more calls, 239-479-5592. Somebody texted that it isn't your assessment of the problem or even that it is a problem, it's your solution. You're throwing water on a gasoline fire and ignoring your values of limited government. Big government doesn't solve morality issues any better than economic ones. Prohibition doesn't work. You create a black market and profit incentive. You trade the word guns and drugs in your own argument to see the hypocrisy. So there's somebody who's talking about how I believe in limited government, as conservatives do believe in limited government. Absolutely right. But can we just stop with the nibbling around the edges and just say what is happening? Okay. You've got a club that has 5-year-olds and 8-year-olds watching drag shows with pretty much I watched the video, pretty much naked individuals, half naked individuals with body parts that were not their natural born body parts. And can't we just say that in and of itself shouldn't be happening in that establishment? Like that, to call that specifically, like that's what it is. We don't want that to happen in that place. Nothing good is going to happen with that child in that place, in that situation. That's what it is. It's not the nibbling around don't nibble. Don't make it about big government, limited. Call that what it is. Point to that and say, I don't want children to be in that position. That's what it is. And that's what we have the problem with. Because then you start to say things like, the governor says we're going to take away the liquor license. Well, you can't have the 8-year-old in that place. Well, they have a liquor license. Well, why don't you take the liquor license away from the establishment that has a liquor license that's serving food that is one you go to all the time with the family? Well, because in the family establishment, they're not walking around with body parts that aren't their own with pasties on and that kind of thing. So there is a little bit of a difference. Again, getting back to the point specific, which is that is not, I don't assume, what we want. So can't we just call that what it is? Somebody texted and said conservatives can't win politically without winning culturally. You got that right. It's also about the culture. Do we or do we not care about the culture in this country? We don't want to be more like the culture. We want the culture to change. Politics downstream from culture. So where's the culture? It's corrupt. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Paul's in Fort Myers. Good morning, Paul.
Hey, good morning, Drew. First of all, welcome back, and you're in our thoughts and prayers with your family. I concur wholeheartedly with that last statement. We should be impacting the culture, and I think the American church is where it should start. They should be leading 37% of of pastors actually believe the Bible is absolute truth. This nation was founded on a biblical worldview. We need to get back to that and lead instead of being influenced. The church is being influenced by the culture instead of the church impacting the culture if they're actually following a biblical worldview.
And I think the people, Paul, have to speak up about this. I think that churches have to be open about what things are and are not in our culture and in society, knowing how we got here. We got to this place in this country because of the lack of pushing back against a culture that was changing before our very eyes, and everybody was like, meh. We want to be sensitive to people. We don't want to insult people. We don't want to hurt people's feelings. We don't want to do all of these things. We want to be fair. We want to be, all of these things that you nibbled again around the edges. Instead of digging into exactly what it is, just call it what it is, speak about it specifically, and then let society decide without any kind of pressure from media or Hollywood or music or anything else. You push away from all of that and just tell me, make the decision, tell me to my face what it is. Is it okay for you to have these kids in this bar? That's what right. I want to know. Just go right to the core, Paul. Just hit the core. Give it to me.
Yeah. Inside humanity, they know it's not right, but yet they allow it,
Yeah, but but there are enough people out there that don't have a problem with it, that don't see it as it. And again, how does that? What is your worldview? What is it? Is it the parents have the right to do this because? And then fill in that blank. Is it because the children are not going to be affected by this? They're seeing this kind of thing is the same thing with listening to music. They don't understand the language fully, so they're not really understanding the context of the things that are being rapped about or sung about, as much as they're not really aware of what they're seeing in front of their faces, which asks the question, have we dug into that issue and really found out whether or not kids are affected by this? And you might be surprised at the answer, because they have done studies. We do know the answer to that. And if the answer doesn't, if it doesn't go with your view, you either have a choice of dismissing it or not. So,
good point.
All right, Paul. I appreciate you. Thanks so much. Okay. Let's see. Anybody else? All right, Krista. Krista's in Naples, wanted to weigh in on the slippery slope. Listen, I could be wrong. I mean, there are a lot of people that disagree with me, and that's okay. I just want to hear that side. I'm fine with it. Go ahead, Krista. What's up?
Hi, Drew. How are you? Big fan of you. Thank you for doing what you do.
Oh, I appreciate you. Thank you.
I think I'm going to get a lot of haters this morning, but I completely agree with Governor DeSantis. Shut the bars down. We are exploiting our children to things that their brains cannot even comprehend at certain ages. It's sexualizing these children. I've seen these TikTok videos. I've seen these Instagram videos like you have, and it's absolutely atrocious. Atrocious. I'm a mother of a 9-year-old daughter, and it is disgusting what this world is turning into.
Yeah. Well, and again, there are.
And this again leads to other problems like sex trafficking.
Krista, do me a favor. Turn your radio down. I'm hearing you in the background. Yeah,
because I'm listening to you.
Yeah, I know. Just listening to me over the phone.
Okay.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, because that begs the question. Again, we get down to this point, which is. So if the 3 to 5 to 8 years old could be in the place that has drag brunches all the time, and that seems to be okay, right. And there's liquor licenses involved and all of that. Right. So they
shouldn't be exposed to that, period. And second of all, their brains can't even comprehend what a drag queen is. They can't make decisions at that age. They shouldn't be exposed to it, period.
So why can't a 13-year-old be in a strip club? Smoke them if you got them. I mean, why not? I mean, if we're doing, what's the difference? What's the difference? There are some people that would probably be like, yeah, what's the problem? If they're with an adult, what's the problem? That's what it comes down to.
I think at that point, Drew, it boils down to the parents raising their kids with certain types of morals. But in my family and with my daughter, I would never do such a thing. I would never expose her to anything.
Yeah.
We are taking the innocence away from all these poor children. And not even here. It's going on globally.
Yeah.
And it's trying to be made okay. And it was never okay. It was never okay when my grandparents grew up back in the 30s. I grew up very old-fashioned in an Italian family. I know times have changed, but Let's save the innocence of our children, for crying out loud.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for the call. I appreciate it. Krista Naples, 239-479-5592. And again, I'm just asking the question. Get right to the core. I believe in limited government. You believe in limited government. You believe that we don't need to have this behemoth. Be careful what you wish for. But I'm just asking the question. If we can't all agree that that's a problem, then there is a problem. And if we do agree that that's a problem, if a majority of people do agree that that is a problem, having a 3, 5, 8-year-old at a drag show in Miami and, oh, they do it all the time. What's the big deal? The parents want them to be there. We see a problem with this. Then how about the limited government? It doesn't say no government. It's limited. Okay, so let's do this. Let's have limited government in everything we do. Except this issue. How about that? Stay out of everything I do. But this thing, I think we can all agree on. How about that? Can we focus on that? I'm not ignoring limited government. There are places where the government has to be. Maybe this is one of them. I don't know. Just saying. Maybe we should focus on that. The 13-year-old in the strip club. What's the difference? Does it matter? Does it make a difference to you? Why is there a difference? Tell me. Why is there a difference? Why do we have 21 and over laws? Why do we do this? Let's not. I mean, come on. Society says we shouldn't worry about this kind of stuff. So let's stop messing around. I mean, what are we doing here? Just whatever. You're 13 years old. You want to go? You're curious? Don't even worry about your mom. Just tell your mom and dad. Just have a note. I mean, what difference does it make at this point? Or do we care about that? No. Maybe the people that don't care about this or think limited government are thinking the same thing about that as well. I don't know. But we do have to just be honest about the conversation. That's what it comes down to. Stop nibbling around the edges. Get right to the core. Morality, virtues matter. If you don't have them, society breaks down to the point where we're at right now. That's just a fact. You can say whatever you want about the rest of it. But that's just the truth. Oh, but then you're going to have all these Bible-thumping rebel rousers out there who are going to take away all of these things. And is that what you want? You want a government that's going to come along and you're going to have people, politicians aren't saints. They're bad people as well. Yeah, that's true. So maybe we should work on that as well. Maybe we should be caring about morality and virtue in our politicians. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there. Or should we be more like the culture and like if the left is doing it and Democrats are a bunch of scumbags, then maybe that we should do the same thing, to have ours do the same thing. Because, that's, let's just keep it even because, we don't really care that much. Is that what you're suggesting? Is that what you're suggesting? And it's okay. This is the kind of conversation we should have. All right, last call before we go to break. John's in L.A. Beautiful L.A.
Morning, Drew.
Go ahead, John. What's on?
Well, it's not really up to me or you to decide what other people do with their children. I don't want them deciding what to do with mine. So, would I take my kids to a drag show? No, absolutely not.
But let's not pretend. But at the same,
my will upon them.
True, but let's not
pretend. The same as them trying to impose their will upon me.
Right, but let's not pretend that what they're doing is not something that, moralistically speaking, or that we think that it's okay, that there's nothing to see here. It's fine. Let's not pretend that it's fine, because there's too many people. There's too many people that look at that and say, and we'll try to make comparisons to other things and say it's not that big a deal because the parent. Well, it is a big. Either it is a big deal or it's not.
It is a big deal.
And either we call the parent. But there's too many people that don't, right, John? There's too many people that look at it and go, "Calm down." The kid's 3 years old. They don't even know what they're looking at. So what's your suggestion?
They don't.
Well, right. They don't. But when they go
further back in time, it was, all men that played women's parts in plays and so on and so forth. They didn't have women in the
but that's a whole different topic. We're talking about kids. We're not talking about consenting. We're not talking about consenting adults. We're not talking about adults making adult decisions. We're talking about adults bringing kids into this.
So we're saying the kids never went to plays or anything else back in those times?
No, I'm not. We're talking. See, this is like apples and oranges. We're talking about sexualization of kids. We're not talking about kids playing parts in plays.
But they're going to see more skin at a beach than they will at that drag show. for one. And two, like I said, it's not up to me to decide what they do with their children, just like it's not up to them to decide what I do with mine.
Again, I understand that premise that, it's not our decisions. But if it's damaging to the child, do we make it seem as if it's not a big deal? Or do we actually say that it is a big deal and we should call it out as a big deal so that hopefully that somebody may actually come around and stop doing this, because eventually that 3 years old becomes a 5-year-old, becomes an 8-year-old that is surrounded by a parent that continues to expose themselves to this, and it's not healthy. And so if you can change, change the culture to say that this is not a good thing, then ultimately you can possibly, hopefully, prayerfully change this country and send it into a different direction from the inside out, not from the outside big government down. You've got to change the culture, but you never will change the culture, John, if you just go, it's not my place. The parents, they do what they do. It's not that big a deal. It's a 3-year-old.
I agree with you on that, but there again, it is not my place to raise their children. And the bigger deal we make of it, the more they're going to want to do it just so they can get the attention.
Yeah, and I respectfully disagree with you, John, because if you don't make a big deal out of it, we're in a country right now where we are right now, which is a country that goes, it's not a big deal. There's people's feelings are getting hurt. I got the feels. I'm really upset about this. You need to call me by the proper pronoun. I am a woman, and you can't define it. That's what it is. If you just are like, I can't do anything about it, I can't talk about it. Yeah, you can. You can respectfully talk about it and respectfully say no. All right, we got to take a break. 239-479-5592. I don't know. I hope that made sense. Boy, how about this for a Friday, huh? It's Daybreak 92.5, Fox News, right all along.
Keeping it right here. We're 92.5 Fox News. And we've been right all along.
Our kids can't vote, but you can. I'm Denise Nystrom for Lee County School Board District 6. Everyone votes for me in District 6. As a former assistant superintendent of schools, I am not happy with our education system. I have attended all school board meetings, and with my skill set, I can hit the ground running. School board elections are critical. If we want our country back, we take our children back. I have the right credentials. I am the right choice. Vote August 23rd for Denise Nystrom. Paid for by Denise Nystrom for Lee County School Board District 6.
Chevy showroom, Marty.
Hey, Marty, you ready for adventure?
Not really.
Well, during Victory Lane Chevrolet's summer adventure sale,
look, you
can drive a new Chevy and make no payments till fall.
Fall?
As in autumn.
Okay.
September.
I got it.
Or you can drive a new Equinox for $349 a month with no money down and no first payment.
No money?
Zip, zilch, zero dinero.
Look, I know what zero means, okay?
I'm sure you do. You're used to having zero customers in your showroom. Hello. During the summer adventure sale at Victory Lane Chevrolet, lease a new 2022 Chevy Equinox LS, only $349 a month with zero down and no first payment. Plus, bring us your trade and get an additional $1,000 off any in-stock vehicle. Victory Lane Chevrolet, on the corner of Fowler and Winkler. Find new roads online at victorylanechevrolet.com. 36-month lease, 0 down, 10K miles per year. Must have current lease and household. Taxes and fees extra. Rebates to dealer. No payments for 90 days. Must finance with Kim Financial. Offers with approved credit. Not all offers combined.
Dave, is that a puddle next to your sink?
Again? I thought I fixed that.
Guess not.
Bought this high-tech monkey duct tape stuff. Supposed to fix any leak.
Not this one.
Worked on TV, like magic.
Well, it's magically leaking all over your...
I mean, if you can't trust what you see on TV, who can you trust?
Dave.
Saw it with my own eyes. Fixes leaks in seconds, they said.
Dave.
My whole belief system is based on knowing that if it works on TV, it works in reality. I mean, did we even land on the moon? Is anything real in this world?
Dave! So, what's the best case scenario?
Best case? Okay, maybe someone comes and fixes the leak. You know, properly. And it stays fixed.
That's best?
Well, sure, but...
That's best. Best Home Services. They have so many specialized technicians, they have a tried to fix a leak myself with duct tape and it didn't work expert.
So, it's not just me?
GetBest.com. When something goes wrong, we're waiting.
Leak is finally fixed. You want some magic duct tape?
Yeah, I'm good.
An official message from Medicare. Did you know Medicare.gov/care has information about healthcare providers in your area? At Medicare.gov/care, you can find and compare hospitals, doctors, nursing homes, and more. See detailed information on quality of care and how patients rate their experience. Visit Medicare.gov/care today. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Hey, this is Papa reporting that a lady recently complained that she did not like my commercial about the guy spitting chewing tobacco. She said that sound made her sick. I asked her what she thought about my commercial of Bart the Donkey, and she went... Either way, a special thanks to over 4,000 wonderful people who did respond to Papa's wacky commercials and making this past year our biggest, most profitable year in over 30 years. On behalf of my sons, Casey, Carrie, and Cody, we invite you to call Papa for our free tile roof inspection. If we find needed repairs, we'll do our best to make it affordable. Let us show you how we can clean and seal your tile roof, pavers, and pool decks the eco-friendly way, and it's cleaner, safer, and lasts longer. We promise to keep the donkey off your roof. Call me, Papa, for our free tile roof inspection. 945-2700. That's 945-2700. Remember, area code 239-945-2700. We're open 24/7. License number CCC 1326213.
All right, it's Dave Meister, owner of the Floor Meisters in Naples. And anytime I have Dave on the phone with me, I know something great is happening. And of course, we've got the new Dreamweaver carpets that we can talk about. And we know the installation time frame very quick, but we also know that there's some other things that are going on with carpets. Tell us a little bit more, Dave.
Yes, Drew, this Dreamweaver carpet, this is the hottest thing since 5-buckle-over shoes. It has a warranty for steps. We stock about 20 rolls of it. You can do the average set of steps for $750 to $850. We can do a remnant in this Dreamweaver for a guest bedroom for around $500. And we can get all these installed in about a week or less.
A week or less? That's what we're talking about. It's nice when you've got a quick turnaround, right?
That's right. Stop in. We don't mess around. We got it, and we'll put it in.
That's great. Now's the time to visit their store at 6281 Naples Boulevard next to Costco or online at floormeisters.com.
This update is presented by Stevie Tomato Sports Page in Fort Myers, Cape Coral, and Naples.
Wink News, traffic.
We are seeing that San Carlos Park slow down on 75. It starts just north of Alico and continues until Florida Gulf Coast University. Then in Estero, just past Corkscrew, we see another slowdown. It's going to run from that point until Imperial Parkway. Go ahead and plan for an extra 5 minutes if you pass by either of these areas. We will tell you that things are looking slow in the downtown area, eastbound on 2nd Street near both areas of the Edison Bridge, and westbound on 1st Street. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. Belinda Post, Wink News.
Wink Weather Authority.
Another hazy and hot one for today as we continue to see a plume of Saharan dust move overhead. This will still be limiting our rain chance today, though we should at least see some isolated afternoon and evening thunderstorms, especially for those areas along and east of the I-75 corridor and closer to our coastal zones. Temperatures continue to warm into middle 90s for today. Look for high close to about 95 degrees. We'll be off to another dry start for your Saturday with a low near 76 degrees. We climb back to 94 degrees for your Saturday afternoon. That Saharan dust exits for the weekend, but we still will be looking at lower than average rain chances with isolated afternoon thunderstorms as we head into Saturday and Sunday. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Casey Sherman.
Need some inspiration? Don't look left. Look right. Here. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
My name is Sam Fisher. I'm a father, businessman, and conservative candidate for the Lee County School Board. Like many of you, I was enraged when I found out our school board had secretly passed policies allowing boys and girls to share bathrooms and locker rooms. I was furious when they forced our kids to sit in masks all day long. And I was livid when the demands of hundreds of parents were repeatedly ignored by a school board beholden to a woke liberal agenda. As a father of 3 small children, nothing is more important than school safety. Yet again, our current liberal board has ignored the will of the parents and refused to implement the Guardian program that would add an additional layer of security to our schools. I'm Sam Fisher. I'm running for Lee County School Board to be the voice of parents and taxpayers. I'm running to put our children's safety and education first. I'm a father, businessman, and a conservative. I'm Sam Fisher, and I'm asking for your vote for the Lee County School Board. Paid by Sam Fisher for Lee County School Board District 1.
Tradition, luxury, innovation. Not words we typically use in the same sentence, but with DeVoe Cadillac right in the heart of Naples, you're going to find this and so much more. Hey, take it from me, your friend Sean Hannity. DeVoe Cadillac is the epitome of Cadillac's traditional quality that I have trusted for years. The DeVoe family-owned Cadillac dealership, they strive to provide world-class hospitality to all who enter their doors, just as they've been doing for over 50 years. But don't let tradition fool you. DeVoe Cadillac is keeping up with innovation by growing with today's EV market. And if you're interested in a Cadillac and luxury and style and safety and an electric vehicle, look no further than Cadillac Lyric. Now, DeVoe Cadillac can answer your EV questions. And by the way, they'll help you be one of the first to cruise the boulevard in the all-new Lyric. Now, they serve Southwest Florida. DeVoe Cadillac, 4100 Tamiami Trail North, or DeVoeCadillac.com.
Need to find quality candidates fast? You need Indeed, the end-to-end hiring solution. Attract, interview, and hire candidates all in one place. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Go to LDTlaw.com if you need legal help. Lusk Dray Sites in Talisano in Fort Myers, Cape Coral, and Naples. If you need a lawyer on your side, someone you can trust, someone experienced, someone to look out for you, there is only one thing you need to remember. LDTlaw.com. We are here for you 24/7, 365. At Lusk Dray Sites in Talisano, we handle family law, divorce, child custody issues, real estate concerns, personal injury, and many other legal areas with experienced local attorneys. We're not some big city outside law firm. We are here in your town, and we've been here for 40 years. We can walk you through the legal process and be the advocate you need to protect your rights under the law. We fight for you. Lusk Dray Sites in Talisano is your hometown law firm serving all of Southwest Florida. Give us a call or send us an email. We can help. Remember, winning is no accident. LDTlaw.com. If you need help, it's all you need to know.
I'm Wing Chief Meteorologist Matt Devitt. Live Wing Doppler 3X is more than just 3 times more powerful than other radars. It has dual polarization. That's technology that allows Wing viewers to see debris as small as a nail flying through the air in dangerous storms, even when those storms are hundreds of miles away from our tower. That's information that can save lives in an emergency. It's here, it's live, and it's only on Wing. Wing Doppler 3X, 3 times more powerful.
Trust. It's the rock-solid foundation of Moran Wealth Management. Over 40 years ago, they began advising clients on ways to help meet their financial goals. 4 decades later, we've helped many reach their goals of providing for themselves, their families, and future generations. CEO Tom Moran has assembled an impressive team of professionals, each committed to the same core concept. Tom is recognized by Barron's as a Hall of Fame advisor. To be named a Hall of Fame advisor, the advisor has to have been ranked by Barron's consecutively for the last 10 years in any of their rankings. Let us earn your trust. Call 239-920-4440 or visit moranwm.com. Barron's rankings are based on data provided by thousands of advisors. Factors included in the rankings were assets under management, revenue produced for the firm, regulatory record, length of service, quality of practice, and client retention. Investment products and services are offered through Wells Fargo Advisors Financial Network, LLC, WFAFN, member SIPC. Moran Wealth Management is a separate entity from WFAFN.
Stay right here, because after Drew, it's Glenn Beck, 9 to noon. 92.5 Fox News. Right. All along.
All right, let's stop messing around. Michael Pelka's joining us. It's Friday. Come on, let's get right.
Oh, you're killing me. I usually have to wait about 30 minutes for you to play the College of Knowledge or the 5 clips of the day or whatever the hell else. You're Alfie Oakes in the other room or something.
All right, back up a little bit. I'm a little, I'm in that
You're
kind
a
of
little
mood.
pissy today, aren't you? You've been a little on the high wire today. I love it. I like this version of Drew Steele. This is good, edgy Drew. And I just want to come out of the blocks immediately and say I support you. I support you completely. Not only your right to have the opinion, but I think in this case, and in most cases we agree, you're right. You're 100% right. The one of the top priorities of government is to protect the people who can't protect themselves, and that starts with children.
Yeah.
So I'm with you 100%.
Yeah, just cutting right to the chase, and that's and I've been through enough of it. I mean, the discussion. I know the people who want to call, if they want to call and you want to comment, we'll bring you in just a little bit because there's other things we got to get to. Mike Opelka. First of all, let's remind everybody next week we will be in Dallas for CPAC. A lot of great guests.
Is that next week? Holy crap!
Yes,
Yeah,
it
I
is.
know.
Yeah, we're close. It's days away. So we're gonna have a lot of fun. We got a lot of great guests lined up, as you can imagine. Some surprises possibly as well. We've been hinted about. So we're looking at that. So CPAC Dallas will be a lot of fun. So we'll get to that coming up. Also, I understand that Wikipedia is on lockdown. If you're trying to find out the definition of what recession is,
How funny is that?
Tell the story.
Yeah, Wikipedia yesterday changed the definition of lockdown to fall in line with the Ministry of Disinformation in DC, and then they locked it. Because Wiki's usually open, so people can add things, and then they locked it. This is very rare that they would change it to bend to this. So I'm waiting for Siri. Did you play Siri yesterday?
No. Do you have that audio?
Let's do it live just in case, because I have the audio. I have the audio on hold. But Siri, if you ask Siri the definition of a recession, you should get the correct answer. We hope so. Let's do it live. I got my phone right here. Go. Hey Siri, what's the definition of a recession? Here she comes.
Recession means a period of temporary economic decline during which trade and industrial activity are reduced, generally identified by a fall in GDP in 2 successive quarters.
So there you go, 2 successive quarters. It's still there. They haven't gotten to her yet.
Yeah, they haven't knocked on the door yet. So they're over at Apple headquarters. Yeah. So we're in a recession, and good thing we've got the Inflation Reduction Act. That's gonna help.
And you know how I feel. Everything in government is ironically named.
Yep.
Build Back Better would have not built anything back or better. And now the Inflation Reduction Act, which didn't Barack Obama tell us you don't raise taxes in a recession?
I think a lot of people told us that. I don't think he's the only one that said that in the past.
Yeah, but since he's the guy pulling the strings on this administration, you have to go back and go, dude, what about your theory? What about your principles? And so I think we should constantly throw that in the face of anybody who's talking about this.
Yeah.
Because and then they're going to, what about fairness? I'm so sick and tired of hearing the word fairness.
Right. Exactly. Look at where it got us. We see where we are. And I think it was also, let me see if I can pull this audio up. It wasn't too long ago. Let's see. Do we have? Here it is. How about this little nugget? Here, check this out.
I don't think during a time of recession you mess with any of the taxes or increase any taxes.
Yeah, that's 2010. That's Joe Manchin, who said.
I didn't hear anything.
Oh, I'm sorry. Here, let me play that again. Here you go.
I don't think during a time of recession you mess with any of the taxes or increase any taxes.
Yeah, that's him during 2010. On C-SPAN, 2010, he was re-election, and he was talking about, you shouldn't do anything with taxes during a recession. Oh, well, something changed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called being a Democrat. And apparently, according to Town Hall, did you hear about Manchin and Schumer? They're making the case that they successfully tricked McConnell and Senate Republicans because on July 13th, Manchin said the reconciliation bill it will be a clear and present threat to the economy due to the inflation risk, and walked away from it, right? And that ticked off all the libs. And then all he would agree to was a narrow deal to reduce prescription drug prices with none of the climate change measures that liberals wanted. Well, McConnell was all excited. He wins, right? That left the Senate GOP free to support the CHIPS Act, which 14 of the members did yesterday morning when the bill finally passed in the Senate. It's going to go back to the House, and it's going to be stuffed with all kinds of nonsense because that was the sticking point with Pelosi stuffing it with all kinds of stuff. And lo and behold, 4 hours later, Joe Manchin suddenly changed his mind and decided he's okay with the bigger reconciliation bill after all. So it looks like the Senate was duped by Manchin, basically. So.
Yeah, this deal is scary, and now that we're starting to see some of the banks picking sides, some of the investment banks picking sides, we'll know where the politics of this is falling. I don't have any real faith in anything Joe Manchin's saying these days.
Nope.
We haven't heard from Kirsten Sinema, and she didn't show up at the meeting yesterday.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing we can hold out for, because she's been pretty firm on the fact that she ain't doing it. So, but we'll see. Things change with Democrats. By the way, speaking of Democrats, why is Nancy Pelosi going to Taiwan? Is there like is there something there? Well, I know that.
Look, I want her to go now.
Well, yeah,
exactly. Because China said don't come,
right.
So I want her to go, and I think Mike Pompeo's offer to go with her is a great one, and I wish she would invite him. She invited some guy that nobody's ever heard of on the Republican side, and he said he's busy. He's washing his hair that night. But if she would take, I would love to see Pelosi, Schumer, McCarthy, and McConnell go all together.
Yeah.
All of them.
Well, I guess, and I guess
maybe they end up in a gulag. I don't know.
Well,
just saying.
Yeah. Well, then they can't do any more damage. But you got Pelosi, who I guess, look, she knows her days are numbered as far as being the speaker. Probably right after that, it won't be very long before she decides to dip it into the sunset because her husband and her have made some quite some interesting deals to get a little bit of cash to fill up the freezer full of ice cream. And so who knows, maybe and so this is like what, a legacy thing, like she's going to Seoul, she's going to Japan, she's got to go to Taiwan because she's there, and China said we don't want you to go, so certainly she's got to go now. But that's what this is, right? This is just a legacy trip. There's no reason to go.
Who's the highest ranking American elected official to ever visit Taiwan?
The highest ranking official to ever visit.
American official.
Jake, you want to take a guess? Who's the highest ranking American official to ever visit Taiwan?
Handed it off to Jake. That's just
vice president.
Right? Which vice president? Pick one.
Dick Cheney.
Nope.
Okay.
Joe Biden.
Not Joe Biden.
Yeah. Nope. Biden's not been there. Trump didn't go. Pence didn't go. The last and highest ranking American elected official was Newt Gingrich.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You now have Pelosi playing the Speaker of the House card to try and put that on her resume. So yeah, it's a legacy thing, but it's also she would be think about it. She's 2 heartbeats away from the presidency. That's a big deal. No, that's kind of the way you got to look at it these days.
Well, some might say 1.5, but it depends on who you ask.
That's true. Well, Kamala would have to go to the wizard to get a heart.
Go to the wizard.
I'm going to the wizard to get a heart.
They still handing those
Ask
out?
for a brain while you're there. Get a twofer.
That's not very nice. True, but not very nice.
Speaking of Pelosi's brain, there was a clip circulating yesterday that was just kind of ominous, with Pelosi saying all kinds of weird things with scary music underneath it.
Yeah, you told me about it, and I think I have it.
Okay, so play a little bit of it, because I did my homework on it. I found the.
Say that again. You found the what?
I found the origin.
Okay, good. All right, so here's what he's talking about. People are like, what's going on with this whole thing here?
We're sending stuff over to the Senate. Well, most of the product that we've done is, except now what we may have added in the last day or so, and some of what we added is Senate to the bill, like a hearing. Bernie doesn't like hearing. Excuse me, Bernie loves hearing. Manchin doesn't want hearing in the bill and all that stuff.
Okay, you get the gist, right?
Yeah, you get
her saying like kind of weird nonsensical things. And because she mentioned Manchin, a lot of people thought that was yesterday or the day before. But it's not. It's actually an old clip from 2021, November of 2021, and one of her evil press conferences that she does.
That's the music in the background.
Yeah, somebody put the music in to make it spooky. Clearly. But here's the original, and I got problems with this. I have problems with what's going on here.
So, so we are getting some bird and privilege. I think mostly we're getting privilege scrub, because privilege scrub is deadly to a bill. Birdable is important. It's you have to take it out, but privilege violation can take you out. So we're again getting that as we go along as well. We want to be sure that what we send is not birdable or bird bath or privilege scrub.
Now, that is some A-level Hollywood wonk speak. It doesn't sound like English to you or me, does it?
No, I don't know what she's talking about.
She's talking about a legislative process, that legislative privilege law and legal definition, which refers to the right of a member of a legislature to speak freely in the House without fear of being sued or sanctioned. But the whole thing about, I think the bird and bird bath comes from Robert Byrd and some restrictions Byrd put on what can be in bills. But it's really bizarre. Wow. And it's not normal speak. And if she wants to go to Taiwan, send her there and let her talk like that.
Or please don't. We don't need the rest of the world is watching. Please don't. It's bad enough we got a president and people are watching, and we've got
true international pressure. And Schumer and McCarthy and McConnell. Yeah. Problem solved.
Yeah. All right, we got a couple of minutes. Give me something to leave with. Give me something fun, exciting, or tickling, whatever it is.
Well, the Space Force base there in Florida. I don't know if you saw the story about the guy they arrested at the Space Force base yesterday.
Wait a minute. We have a Space Force base. Where is our Space Force base? Is it?
I'm not going to tell you. If you don't know it, you're going to have to look it up.
Is it on the East? It's on the East Coast, right? It's not in Tampa. It's on the East Coast. Go ahead.
Yeah. Got a Space Force base, but they arrested a guy yesterday. This is my favorite Florida man story of the week. Sorry, Florida. Because he was trying to break into the base. And when they got him and they brought him in and said, what the hell are you doing? He said, I got to warn you. There's going to be a fight between the aliens and the dragons. They're coming. So
what? Even Jake knew the story. How did you know the story? Wait a minute. You knew the story, Jake?
I didn't know the location of the story, but I did recall the alien and the dragons thing going on in China.
How great is that? Space Force. Finally, Space Force is defending America and the planet.
Do you understand that the reason why, and we brought this up yesterday, and it's such an important point, and then we have to go, do you understand that the reason why we have not seen aliens on this planet is because even if aliens would eat us, they don't want to have anything to do with us. They would hurl us out as quick as you can imagine because they see what's going on here. It's like, I'm not eating that. I'm not eating that. There's no way. They don't want anything to do with us. We're nuts.
Well, you are what you eat, and they
right.
just
they know it.
Theory, which is why I want you to stop eating minute rice. Good evening, everybody. Your next act is from Philly.
All right, we got to go, Philly. All right, Mike Opelka, who the next time you hear his voice will be in Dallas with moi, as we will be with all kinds of great people at CPAC Dallas. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right, we'll see you. We'll see you then.
Thank you, my brother.
All right, back at you. Stay break 92.5 Fox News, right all along.
The news you need. The host you trust. Getting it right all day and all night. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
This is Kevin Carnes, your Lee County Clerk of Courts and Comptroller. One of the greatest honors of my life was getting the call that America's Governor, Ron